I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Good morning and welcome to Up Way Too Early for Garage. Wow. Good morning, welcome to Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life. Thank you for waking up too early this morning. I'm John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. If this is your first time on this show, checking out the show, just want to let you know that we talk about fitness-related content from a home gym perspective. We get your live reactions along the way, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So if this is your first time, as I said, you are in for a treat. Let me tell you what's on today's show. So in the first hour, we'll have news and other things, plus a brand new segment of our most popular segment, which is Recliner of Rage. I'm going to tell you why I'm mad this week, and I think you guys will once again laugh at me as you always do, but that's okay. Let's see. Turn that down right there. All right. And let's see, in the second hour, we're going to react and respond. That's basically where we take the news items of the day that relate to the home gym community, and we're going to respond to them together. It's pretty much stuff that's come across my radar in the past week. In this case, it would be the past 2 weeks. And I'll show them to you guys, and you guys tell me what you think of it. And then in the third hour, we only have one guest today. Our guest will be Matthew Burruss. He's from Xpodium, USA. He's going to be joining the show. Xpodium is a brand that's essentially a CrossFit aligned brand. They provide apparel and training gear for athletes who like to train in a CrossFit style, whether at home or at a local box. So we're going to be talking to him about some topics that would be of interest to you guys. So for one thing, we're going to talk about tariffs, of course, because that's what's hot in the news right now. Also going to talk to him about whether the sale of CrossFit has affected his business. So that's going to be in the third hour. That's 8 a.m. Eastern time if you're trying to do some scheduling. And it'll be 6 a.m. Mountain time. All right. And then in the final hour, I'm going to try something new. It's based off of the success that I saw in terms of engagement when you guys told me about the dialed motion leg extension leg curl during the show, I think 2 weeks ago. So I decided to just let you guys in the final hour. If I don't have a guest, I'll let you guys pick the topic. We'll see. So this will be the first time I'm officially doing that. We'll see if it's going to crash and burn. It may be 15 minutes long. It may be 5 minutes long. It may become a regular segment. It may never come back. It is 100% up to you guys and how much you participate and whether you like it or not. All right, so there are already about 100 of you watching right now. I appreciate all you guys being here. So now that you know what's going on, let's go ahead and say hello to everybody who has jumped into the live chat. My guy Carlos was here at 4:38 in the morning. That's 4:38 my time, which is 3:38 his time. Okay, so Carlos is a savage. Okay, he's been sitting waiting for the show to start since that time. Of course, he ignored me when I asked him to help me with mic check, but you got to take what you can get. I'm just glad you're here, Carlos. Then he said, it's that time. Let's rise and grind. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Then my guy, the Kurt Locker, who I was texting with earlier, says LFG. All right. Then my mom's texting me. All right. I'll check those messages later. And let's see here. My guy, Eric Eccles. Eric says, morning, fellas. What's up, Eric? Good seeing you again. And Carlos gave me a mic check. He said, my mic sounds nice. Check one. Thank you. Are you ready? There we go. All right. So now that we know who's here and we know what we're going to be talking about, then let's see. And I need all of you guys, all 283 of you, to hit like and subscribe. Also, share the video with somebody else so we can get some more people. Look at that 311. You're ahead of the game. That's what I'm talking about. Let's keep that energy going and jump right into our first segment, which is news and other things. Let's go. Okay, first news item comes from Bear Steel Equipment. they have done an upgrade to their 1-inch and their 5/8 power pins. So basically, when the power pins first came out, they had magnets on them, and they're essentially too strong. So people were getting upset because they're like, it's a workout just to pull this peg out or this pin out to shift the weight, right? And so Bear Steel says, all right, we hear you. We're going to make a change. And so they have reduced the pull strength of the magnets down to 15 pounds. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you guys, in case you don't know what the power pins are, I will show them to you guys right now. And that's right, the first screen share of the day. That's right. Calm down. Try to relax. Just try to relax. All right. Let's just go ahead. We'll never get anywhere if y'all keep interrupting me with all this hollering. I appreciate you, though. I appreciate you. So here we go. So this is the 1-inch power pin. As I said, you can get it in either 1-inch or 5/8. This is what it looks like. And back behind here used to be a 30-pound magnet, and now it's going to be a right there. Well, actually not just one, but a series of 6 magnets. Now it's going to be 15 pounds of pull. Excuse me. That pollen outside is rough. Anyway, so that should make it easier for you guys to use them. They're a great way to, I mean, even if you don't actually use them for anything, they're still a good, nice decorative touch. And I'll say this also, one additional incentive to support them is that Bear Steel Equipment is a, well, they call themselves a host. Let's share this tab right here. They said they're calling themselves the host, but they're the presenting sponsor for the Strongman Throwdown this year. So for those of you who like to support brands that support the home gym community, then this is additional incentive to shop Bear Steel Equipment, because they are not only going to HomeGymCon for the 3rd year in a row. I believe this is their 3rd year in a row, but they're also going to be, oh no, it's the 2nd year in a row, because the first year they went to Arnold, didn't go to HomeGymCon. That's right. But for the 2nd year in a row, they're going to be at HomeGymCon, and they're throwing money behind the Strongman Throwdown to make it an epic event for the athletes. And speaking of which, we're going to have Kurt from the Strongman Throwdown. He's going to be with us next week to talk about it, but I'll give you guys more information about that later on. Let's see it. Looks like we got some more comments. Let's see what you guys think of that. Big Mike Brantley says, morning. What's up, my man? Now, Mike is the champion because he and Eric Eccles probably woke up at the same time, because he's on the West Coast. So it's about 3 a.m. right where he is right now. And he is, first of all, I'm assuming you halfway through a workout, Mike. So, shout out to you. But then appreciate you being here as well. Always throwing me up on the TV while he's doing his workout. Mike crushing those circuits and has us on in the background. So I appreciate that. Garage Gym Radio was here. What's up, Jake? He said, I appreciate Bear Steel for doing it big at HomeGymCon. Yeah, man. Definitely. Eric Carpenter. Hey, I'm glad you were here, Eric, because we're going to be talking about, in React and Respond, we're going to be talking about a topic that you have been active on talking about on Instagram. So make sure that you're here during React and Respond, which will be at the 7 a.m. hour, which will be 6 a.m. for you. Let's see here. Eric says he's going to go by the Bear Steel booth and hang out with Nick Best. Yeah, you need to ask him what's up with Strongest Man History not being on television anymore. I actually enjoyed that show quite a bit. So, yeah, make sure you find that out for me. You're our investigative reporter. Go find out why it's not on TV anymore. All right. So let's move on to the next item. Speaking of HomeGymCon, we're going to be live from HomeGymCon. I know I keep on bringing this up, and I'm going to keep on bringing it up because I want you guys to be there in the audience. I don't want to have me and some raffle tickets and prizes and nobody's there, but we need you guys to be in the audience, and I need to get an accurate head count. So I need you guys to go to the Sign Up Genius link, and I'm going to keep on posting this link because, I mean, if I don't, you won't have it. So the Sign Up Genius link that I just threw right here in the live chat is also in the video description. But I need you guys to go there and sign up to be in the audience. That all it does is free. I just need to know how many, get a head count for how many people are going to be there, so we know how many raffle tickets to bring, and I make sure that we have enough prizes. Right now we've got Gorilla Strength is going to be coming. They're going to be bringing an axle bar, the Garage Gorilla axle bar. They're going to be we've got Homegrown Lifting is going to be there, so they're going to try to do something special. Micro Gains is going to be there. He's going to be bringing a prize as well, so it's going to be a good time. He said the show needs to end at 8 for HomeGymCon so the VIPs can go down to the expo. I mean, I don't have a problem. So first of all, I want you to understand that I tell you what, here's what I do. I meet you halfway because the show ends at 9. The show ends at 9 a.m. Eastern. What I'll do is I will let you guys, I mean, you're not being held hostage, but we will make sure the raffles are done by 8 a.m. And then from 8 to 9, we'll kind of just do a but if by consensus you guys want me to just do a show from 6 to 8 that morning, I'm fine with that. All right, because HomeGymCon is a long couple of days for me anyway, so yeah, that helps me out too. But I'm down for that. This show is run by the public, so if that's what y'all want to do, we'll do it. Okay. And let's see here. So that's the next item. We're scrolling along. We're actually making better time than I thought. All right. Now, Giant Lifting has a new rack. It's new to me. It's called the Vertex All-in-One Rack. So the Vertex All-in-One Rack, let's see if we can't. Let's go ahead and do ye old screen share. Let you guys check it out. Right here. All right. So this is the Giant Vertex All-in-One Power Rack. So I got questions, okay? First of all, yeah, this looks good. It's okay, well, I'll say that after we talk about the rack. So, first of all, this is a 2x3 rack, and it is 11 gauge steel. It's got 1-inch holes with 2-inch spacing, and they say it's an all-in-one power rack. So it's got 200-pound dual weight stacks, 2-to-1 pulley ratio. So this says 100-pound feels like 50 pounds. Got aluminum pulleys. It's got several attachments. You guys can see here, it's got including a folding foot plate. See, folding foot plate. Also has a built-in Smith machine, as you guys can see right there, and premium multi-grip pull-up bar. Let's look at this from the front. Actually, I want to zoom in on this, see if I can. All right, premium multi-grip pull-up bar. I can't really tell how that is attached, but that's kind of interesting to me because of something I was able to do with the rack that's downstairs. That I'm actually going to be doing a video about. Well, I'm shooting a video today, and you guys will see this. So if you're a channel member, you'll see the video by no later than tomorrow. And then it's going to be public by it'll be the upload for Tuesday, so everybody else will be able to see it on Tuesday. All right, but anyway, now let's talk. I said I had the stuff to say about this Vertex all-in-one power rack, and I want to get you guys' feedback, what you think of it. Price point is $299.99, which is a discount from the normal price of $3,299. You can see more and more brands let you pay with your health savings account, your flexible spending account. For some reason you want to go into debt to buy a power rack, you can pay $270.77 a month with Shop Pay, which is essentially it'll be a loan through Shop Pay. I always wonder, like, what happens if you end up not defaulting on a loan? Do they come take your power rack from you? I don't know. But anyway, or did they just destroy your credit rating? Anyway, here's my questions. All right, so I told you it says 2x3, right? But look, as we used to say, on the strength, it's giving me mixed messages because in the email, which I will show you, let's share this tab instead. Welcome to my inbox. So you guys see all the, it's got the adjustable leg roller, Smith machine mounted leg press attachment, multi-handle dip station, the flip up plate I told you for the low row, told you about, it's over here. Anyway, whatever. So it says it's 2x3 11 gauge steel. Okay. But the front uprights are 2.3 by 2.3 stainless steel. Okay. So I'm assuming that the rear uprights, or like the middle and rear uprights, are the 2x3. And here in the front, it's 60 millimeter, give or take, 2.3 by 2.3. Not sure about that. Yeah, what's going on with that? Also, it's 89 inches tall, so I'm not a fan of that. I've mentioned that several times to you guys. I don't like short power racks. And to be honest with you, even if I were in a basement with a low ceiling, I want you to think about it. Look. So let's just put it in perspective. You're in a basement, right? 72 inches is 6 feet. You know what? Let's Google. Here's something. Average height of a basement ceiling in America. All right. In America, here, I'll let you guys see this. In America, the average ceiling height for a basement typically ranges from 8 to 9 feet. Okay? So 89 inches to feet. 7 feet, right? So that means you got about a foot of clearance. Now, I dislike this because to me, it's a waste of my time to have a short power rack, because you're trying to you're going to have a short power rack because you're trying to save my skull from whatever. I'm like, nah. If I were to install this in my basement and I had, let's say, half a foot of clearance, I would pretty much just adjust how I train, right? And the one thing I would say is anytime somebody puts out one of these little bitty racks, I'd like to see them do something with the pull-up bar, to do an angle pull-up bar, if this would actually move like I wanted to. Do an angle pull-up bar right there instead of straight across, so that you can still get good range of motion if you want to do hangs or pull-ups. Okay, so that would appease me. But I mean, for real, what's the purpose of having these little bitty racks, man? What that is one, laziness, two, tone deafness to your target market, because you're making it for basements when there are tons of us in home gyms, in garages, backyards, barns, detached buildings like Rory Ellis. Some people have their home gym on their back porch, their back deck, whatever you want to. I mean, the home gym community is very broad. So if you just make an 89-inch power rack, what you're saying is, I don't care about most of you. I just want to do the lazy thing and make something that appeases, that I can say is a home gym rack. And so I have no time for you. You got no time for me. I got no time for you. But that's just a disgruntled 51-year-old in me talking. I want to hear what you guys have to say. You're not as jaded by life, right? Carlos said, yeah, bad credit. Okay. All right. There you go. So it's like buying a TV on credit, but you end up not paying it. But actually, if you get a TV on credit and you don't pay the bill, they'll come get it, right? I mean, I've never done it, but from what I understand, they'll come get it. They'll come repo your television, right? And I always picture like somebody watching TV and like right in the middle of the show, they show up and they unplug your junk and take it. Eric said a lot of those shop hero firms are zero interest. I did that for a year with all my Titan stuff when I first started, interest free. Okay, I mean, I'm glad that worked for you, dude. I'm just I just, as a general rule, I'm not saying I don't make exceptions, but as a general rule, I don't like going into debt. Definitely not for something like exercise equipment that I could save up for or buy used. That's just my personal opinion. I'm like, because there you paid zero interest, but you know what? You could have earned interest by putting it into uh, a certificate, like a CD, or even a special savings account. You would have you didn't pay interest, but you would have earned interest if you put it in a savings account and you were willing to wait. But hey, you're a grown man. You run your, I'm just telling you how I look at life. So that's why I look at it, I'm like, you ain't about to have me going into debt for a power rack. I just can't do it. Carlos said that seems small even for my apartment. Carlos, you always talk about how little your apartment is. And the only frame of reference I have is for your old apartment, which you had crammed full of exercise equipment. So is the new apartment smaller than that, or is it about the same size? So you earn interest by holding on to more of my money. I'm sorry, Eric says I earn interest by holding on to more of my money. That's not dropping it all at once. I do have a finance degree. Hey, sure, man. Like I said, it worked for you. I'm just telling you, I prefer, so some people say, like they like getting they look at like getting a tax return as an interest-free loan. And I'm like, they look at getting a tax refund as like they're getting money. And I'm like, yeah, well, you just gave the government an interest-free loan. I just prefer to have my money work for me instead of that. But hey, my man, I'm not here. What's this? My guy, JP Finley, from the Washington football. What is it? Beltway Football Podcast. Always says, you never yuck another man's yum. So if it's working for you, I'm not knocking it. I'm just telling you that's not how I don't like doing that, because I don't like, for one thing, in my opinion, anything could go wrong, and I just don't like that. You know what I mean? So yeah. Let's see here. Carlos said, okay, ain't nobody trying to disassemble your big old mechanism when they can just cut the loss and send it to collections. Oh, so then you got to start getting the harassing mail. Yeah, I don't like that. We had to deal with that. And that's probably why I got the dang emotional scars, because we had debt and stuff until I went to Iraq back in 04 to 05. So going through a war zone to get out of debt kind of makes you a little bit leery about credit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how I look at it. So never pay more than you have to. If I gave them all my money up front, I can't earn anything off of it. But I get it. Eric, you would have earned the money ahead of time. So you earn the money in a savings account, you keep the interest, and you pay them what the thing costs. But yes, that's it. But yeah. Anyway, now you see my perspective. I'm like, I went to war to get out of debt. I ain't trying to be in debt anymore. I don't like it. Carlos said the new place is the same ceiling height but more space. Okay, I got you. All right. See, I knew once we started talking about this, we would end up parking the car for a little bit to talk about it. So in general, credit aside, what do you guys think about the Vertex all-in-one rack? I don't really see anything that's special about it, and I guess that's something because we just did a review of a rack, and I've seen. It just seems to me to be something, especially considering what I've heard. I've never used a giant lifting product, but from what I've heard about their trap bars and whatnot, they don't seem to be a company that needs to do this. Instead, this just looks kind of like everybody else has one, so we have one too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I don't like that. I guess you don't have to continue. You don't have to innovate, but it just looks kind of generic. And to just put it in perspective, I hadn't really planned on doing this, but let's go with so Fringe Sport. I don't really think that the Dane is the best. I don't think the Dane is 100% the best comp for it, but I will say that the Dane. So the giant Vertex all-in-one, I told you the regular price is about $3,200, right? The Dane is $2,499. Okay, so I grant you the Dane doesn't have a Smith machine, So there's that, but I would just be more inclined to get the Dane, either the 1.0 or the 2.0, than to spend money on the Vertex, just because the Vertex hasn't shown me anything that I would consider special. I don't know if that makes sense. Jake said, I think Giant gets a lot of business for local pickup. Some of their new products are probably aimed towards people that can come pick it up to save some money. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. You silly. Yeah, I mean, it just, yeah, to me, I think so. There's a niche for everybody. And I can see, because I didn't even think about the shipping, the whole point about shipping, right? Because this is, well, it's free shipping, they say. Of course, we know nothing, there's no such thing as free shipping. So that means the shipping is embedded in the price, but still. But that's good insight. That's good insight. Eric said it looks more like the Warlord from Bolt Fitness. All right, so let's go look at the Warlord from Bolt Fitness. Because I've actually never looked at it, so let's go look at it right now. Share the screen. Y'all know I like my screen share. All right, we'll get rid of that immediately. All right, so $35.95 half rack functional trainer combo. Okay, does this have a Smith machine? It does have all of that. Okay. All right, I've never looked at this, so I'm just kind of scrolling down. No Smith machine. I realize it's not on there. I'm looking to see if it has Smith machine as an option. So no, you'd have to get the Apex to get the Smith functional power rack. So this is their functional power rack all-in-one combo, and that's $47.95. So okay, another power rack in the front. All right, that's interesting. Interesting. I mean, not power rack, but pull-up bar in the front. All right, I see that. Carp said, this is what made me laugh. Carp said, big times. I got a quarter tank of gas. Everything's in my mama's name, but I look rich. Hey, there you go. Hey, don't sleep on that. I like to get $5 on pump 5. I remember this is when I had my first job. When I first started, I got out of college. I was working. I had decided to change. Story time with Grandpa, by the way. I decided to change jobs. Change careers because I changed career paths. There you go. That's how I said. Changed career paths because I was going to be a reporter. I did an internship. It's called a cub reporter with a local newspaper. And all it took was one summer of dealing with politicians for me to realize I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. So now what do? Already done with college. I didn't want to stay in college anymore, but I had already started working out. So I had a passion for exercising. And so I had a job at the front desk at a local gym. And I worked my way up to being in charge of the weight room and all of the special populations programming. But before I got to that point, money was tight. All right. Money was tight like fingers in a fist. And I remember showing up to gas stations multiple times with pennies, with a cup of pennies. Like, hey, I want all of this. You got to shake it to let them know what they're about to get. Hey, I want all of this on pump 3. I would say good times, but they weren't. They made me appreciate life now, though. I will say that. All right. Hey, 1,053 of y'all watching. I need more likes than that. And I need y'all to keep sharing it with people. Appreciate you guys being here. Hit like, hit subscribe for me. We got to grow this thing, right? We want to grow this thing. All right. Eric said maybe one of the other racks does. I just knew the Warlord name off the top of my head. Yeah. No, I think the Apex is the one that we end up looking at. Home Gym Physique. You are constantly trying to speak it into existence, but you were definitely not first. You're in the UK, so you actually don't have an excuse unless you're at work, and this is when your lunch break starts, because you are awake well before all of us, because it's the middle of the day for you. So you, to me, don't have any excuse. You should be here before Carlos, but Carlos is not relinquishing that. Carlos said, I had bad credit from birth. Mama ordering stuff from Finger Hut. Oh, wow. In my name because her credit was shot. LOL. That's bad business, man. That's nasty work. That's nasty work. My mom watches these. Thank you, Mommy, for not doing that to me. Thank you. Eric said it's 106 miles to Chicago. We have a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. Oh, okay. I see we're going to be doing movie references. I think that's a movie reference. Movie references and random song lyrics today. I'm here for it. Let's go. Home Gym Physique. I can always count on you. He says, I would love to know the actual cost for gym companies to make these power racks just to see how much profit they make. I have a question. And this is no shade on you. I really want to, because I'm curious. Do you have the same, do you ask the same question when you go buy a car? I wonder how much it costs for them to make this. Because I want to know how much profit they're making. I just say that because part of the reason why I don't really like that line of reasoning is because that's how we end up with 14 gauge steel 2x2 power racks that dimple when you tighten the bolts. Because people are like, oh, it shouldn't cost that much. I mean, for one thing, the cost of steel is a lot higher. The cost of quality steel is higher than people think. Then there's the cost of refining it. You got to pay people every step of the way, especially here in the United States. If you're manufacturing in the U.S., you have to pay your workers enough money for them to be able to pay their kids' dental bills. You got to pay insurance. If they're a union company, then the unions have a pay scale. I mean, I know you guys have unions in the UK, but you know what I'm saying? It's it's not just the cost of the materials. You also have to take care of your workers, right? And then you go through all of that, and it's so you got to make enough profit to not just barely make it by. You got to be profitable enough to know you got money to invest in resupply. You know what I'm saying? So you basically have to have enough money to make them and have them in inventory until you sell all of them out and you can replenish your bank account, your company funds. So I want companies to make enough money to be able to afford to do it right and to be able to afford to pay their workers good money. Let's pause for a public service announcement. Baby, gotta get up. Time to get up. 6:33. Let's go. Get up. I know. There you go. Get active. Let's go. So going to bed. All right, unless you want to start going to bed even earlier. You're going to start going to bed so early that all you're going to do is wake up and get back in. Wake up, brush your teeth, get all fully dressed, and then get ready for bed. Let's go. Up. Se levanta. Let's go. Look at that. Good morning. I know it's, to quote Jesse Jackson, it's morning time. I know y'all love that. I know y'all love it when I have to wake my daughter up. And she hates it as much as y'all love it, possibly more. I love you. Don't take this out on me when I'm old. When I'm old and I need you to take care of me. Don't take this out on me, all right? I love you. Let's see here. Home Gym Physique said, I don't actually have that question when it comes to cars, but that's a good question. I mean, I'm just saying, people are pocket watching the gym equipment companies, and I'm like, look, hang on, let's get rid of this banner. Hit like and subscribe. I'll run that banner again. So I just want to say this, right? Say, I don't mind paying extra money for quality of equipment as long as it comes with a lifetime warranty. Shout out to Iron Master. Body Solid's another one with lifetime warranty. And I agree with you on that. If I'm paying you, I expect you to take care of me. But all I'm saying is this, especially in the case of a power rack, you're asking for this thing to potentially save your life. I don't feel like this is where we need to be cutting costs. You know what I'm saying? I want you, if you're making something that's going to keep me alive, keep me healthy, so that something doesn't fall on me and injure me, I want you to make enough money to pay your workers enough money so that they're not disgruntled on the assembly line, right? I want them to be like, man, I got to do a good job. I can't lose this job. You know what I'm saying? I want them focused. I want them locked in, AirPods in, not thinking about nothing, but putting that widget on this widget because they got to keep me safe because I'm important to me. All right. So let's see here. Carps. Jim says Alibaba is a pretty good gauge. I would guess around 100% margin. Also, places like the Rogue Boneyard or Grab Bag, they sell a 450 bar for 150 to 225, but they also assume all the risk. Exactly. You make a thing, and think about this too. Let's go a different route. First of all, we're going to talk about Alibaba. So Alibaba stuff is typically made overseas, and that's when the company's gotten this factory to make this thing, and then they now have the template, and they can cut and they'll cut corners or whatever. And they said, well, I'm just going to take this exact same template I just made for this brand, take the name off, and I'm just going to sell it over here. Excuse me. I'm going to sell it over here, minus the warranty, minus any guarantees to people who are willing to, just risk it all, as the kids say, right? Then stuff that's made in America, or stuff that you see in like the Rogue Boneyard, think about it. This is something that they weren't able to sell for whatever reason. Maybe there's a blemish, or it just has been on whatever. They've had it in their inventory too long. They're just trying to make something out of it. So essentially, they're taking a loss on that product by having it in the boneyard. Because, yeah, they may be making back their production costs, but they're not making back the cost of storing that item. They're not making back the cost of importing it. If they had to import it, they have to pay like the duty fees or whatever, the import fees. They're not making back the cost of, like all the miscellaneous incidental costs that go along with having something. So they're just trying to make something out of it. Yeah, they assume the risk in the front end. Yeah. It says assume they're the same. Often those import items look the same, but they're not the same. No, what I'm saying is like Alibaba is like they didn't get the template out of the air. Like literally, that junk is made in a factory. The factory takes the template and they go make some other ones themselves, or these may be factory seconds. Maybe the brand ordered, say, 500, and they say, we changed your mind based upon sales. We only need 300. So now you're stuck with 200. They're like, all right, well, we're going to get rid of them somehow. I'm not about to just hang on to them or melt them down for scrap. So they put them on Alibaba. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, moving on. Guys, if you want to support the show, and I invite you to either use our affiliate link in the video description, and I'm about to put it in the live chat, to go shop at Bells of Steel. And you guys know that I'm a big fan of Bells of Steel. So you can click that link that I just, like I said, put in the live chat. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can just click the YouTube shopping button to grab our favorite Bells of Steel products. So my number one favorite bar is the Bare Naked Powerlifting bar. That's my go-to for squats, and it's my go-to. It's the first bar I use on any press day. So bench press or any kind of standing press day, the first bar I use is going to be the Bare Naked Powerlifting bar. Before I move on to my accessory work. And I've been using this bar for over 2 years now. It's still my go-to. I haven't felt the need to replace it, although I have seen other bars. Additionally, we've got the Bells of Steel Blitz indoor cycle that's downstairs. That is my wife's favorite cardio option. She likes it even more so than our treadmills. We got a couple of treadmills, and we got a couple of rowing machines. She likes the Blitz indoor cycling bike even more than she likes those. That's what she's most likely to jump on to do a warm-up or cool down. Or if she just wants to do a cardio-focused workout, she's most likely to jump on that Blitz indoor cycling bike. And then, of course, we got the cable stack downstairs. We've had that in our garage. We've had that for a minute, and we've even accessorized it. We've accessorized it with some stuff from Porter Phys Ed. So you can go either with plate loaded, with upright, without upright, or just get what we got, which is cable stack with upright. Either way, you click the YouTube shopping button and you'll see those products pop up. It's a shopping button that's on this video. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, you don't feel like going to YouTube, I just put the link in the chat. And it's also, Facebook is a little funny about putting links in video descriptions, but you can get it in the, you can get it by looking at the live chat. All right. So there's that. All right. We're about 5 minutes early, but, said rep and force fitness. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, but we will circle back around to that right after the next segment, which is your favorite segment, which is, that's right, Recliner of Rage. Let's jump right into it. Time to get mad.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
You are 100% correct. I'm not happy. Today's Recliner of Rage is dedicated to the treadmill I just finished doing a review on. All right. And that's in fairness, I will say this. If the only problem with this treadmill was that it's too narrow, I could live with it. You'd never hear it. Well, you'd hear about it during the review, but it wouldn't be part of Recliner of Rage. But that's not the only way that this treadmill has betrayed me. So let's just cut to the chase. I got on a treadmill to start the review process. And when I stepped on the running belt, so you got the frame, the part that you're supposed to stand on before you get on the belt. So I got on the frame, got on the running belt. When I stepped on the running belt, it sagged. The belt sagged under me. So the deck sagged, which caused the belt to sag, right? And the frame, the part that you stand on before you get on the belt, the frame pinched my left foot so hard, I thought it had cut my foot. I literally thought that the treadmill had cut my foot, which would be the second time that something has cut me that you don't expect to cut you. Because the first time being when I cut this finger, my index finger, digging around inside a copy machine back in 1997. That's right, I cut my finger on a copy machine. That's a whole different story. I will go into it at a different time, but all I'm saying is I might be the only person you know who's cut their finger on a copy machine. But I thought that the treadmill had cut my foot. It hurt a lot, and the review was almost over right there. I literally was about to be like, okay, so I hate this machine because it cut my foot. Don't buy it. That was going to be the review. But cooler heads prevailed, and I finished the review. But all I'm saying is I'm still mad because it pinched my foot enough that I thought it had drawn blood. And if it had drawn blood, I'm going to tell you right now, the next fight poster you see would have been me and whoever designed that piece of garbage. But anyway, and I know what some of y'all are saying. Okay, well, did you exceed the weight limit? No, I did not. It's rated for 300 pounds. I weigh 230. That's a 70-pound grace. Like what you call cushion, 70-pound cushion there. It still sagged. My left foot was physically assaulted by the treadmill, and I will not be appeased. I will not calm down. I will not be appeased. The treadmill pinched my foot. The treadmill pinched my foot. Okay, so I'm not happy. I ain't gonna be happy. And I don't like it. And I don't like people who are happy and who are going to be happy and who like it. I also don't like people who look like they like it or who look like they're going to be happy and who look like they'll be appeased. Because it's unreasonable. Your foot's not supposed to be cut by the treadmill. Okay. Thank you for letting me share. Glad I was able to get that out of my system. But I'm still mad. Okay, that was just that last outburst. That was just one final outburst. Now I'm gonna read your comments, see how y'all don't care about my physical well-being, and you laughing at my pain, and then we're gonna end it all by calming down and take a deep centering breath. All right, so let's go to the comments. Let's see here. Carlos said, because he's not happy. No, I'm not happy. I'm angry. All right, I got a right to be angry. My people getting persecuted, starting with me and my foot. Here we go. Here comes a comment from the Hair Force. Did you cut your finger on a copy machine while reaching for crayon while in the Corps? That would check the boxes. Okay. No, I did not. This is before I joined the Marine Corps. I was reaching into the copy machine, and I didn't even know that they had sharp objects, sharp edges inside the copy machine. What would you even need that for? It's not like you're cutting the paper. I don't even know why there's a sharp edge in there. But nevertheless, it cut my finger. I'm bleeding. And then I had to go to my boss, and he's like, how'd you cut yourself? Because, you got to fill out the report, right? And I was like, the accident report. So I cut my finger on the copy machine. And he's, you see somebody writing, and then he stops and looks at you. He stopped and looked at me and said, man, look, I'm telling you, I cut my finger on the copy machine. And I was like, yeah. So I had to explain all that at that point. It was horrible. All right. Home Gym Physique I should sue. I should. Unfortunately, they are an overseas brand, so I'm not flying all the way over there to sue them. But I am still mad. But I showed Simon from Watson, if you show up in America, I'll find you, right? Now, granted, I found him because I want him to come on the show. But nevertheless, the point is, y'all better not come to America. It's going to be me and you. Carlos said you need PPE when using treadmills. You know what? I thought you were on my side, Carlos. We were this close to being play cousins. You're out of the will. You're out of the family. And don't come to the cookout. All right. Vintage Weights. What's up, Rob? My man. Hey, I appreciate that. Now we're there. Now we're getting somewhere. Home Gym Physique said throw that treadmill in the neighbor's garden. I'm gonna throw it somewhere. It won't be my neighbor's garden because they didn't do anything to deserve. Because first of all, if I do that, then I'm gonna end up having to see it because it'll just be sitting there. But yeah, it's not long for this home. Yeah, you are laughing, Carlos. You are laughing. I see you. Home Gym Gain says good morning. Well, I'm gonna say good evening because I know it's nighttime where you are, Kevin. Appreciate you joining us. You got here a little too late to commiserate with my pain and suffering because I thought I cut my foot on the treadmill, but I will survive. I'll tell you that. As long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. That's historical. Okay. Carlos said I can't kick him out of the cookout because he's making a potato salad. Yeah, but you're probably gonna bring potato salad with like fruit in it. So yeah, we're gonna give you directions to the wrong place. Bringing that potato salad with fruit in it, we don't like that. We're against that. Matthew Porter, man, look at that. See, I told y'all if I say somebody's name, they show up. And I was just talking about how I accessorized my Bells of Steel cable stack with products from your website. So it was fortuitous that you showed up. What's up, my man? Glad you're here. All right, so now I hope y'all got your laugh out about how I got physically assaulted by a piece of exercise equipment. And now it's time. I don't live in the past. We're going to leave that all behind, and we're going to move forward right now. Okay. Calm down. Take a breath. You don't need no high blood pressure, plus you got a whole show to do. So just calm all the way down. That's better. Okay. Have me a drink of herbal tea. I'm calm now. I'm good. Bam. Look at that. See how serene my face looks? I'm ready to move on with life. Raisins. Yeah, you definitely ain't coming to the cookout. Absolutely not. Raisins and potato salad. That's an abomination. Ew. Show of hands. How many of y'all like fruit in your, this has nothing to do with anything else. How many of y'all think fruit in potato salad is an abomination? I'm going to say no fruit in my potato salad. Raise your hand. If you agree with me, there's no fruit allowed in potato salad. Raise your hand. I just want to see if I can get a consensus. All right, let's go. Let's see if anybody. All right, we're gonna circle back around because I know it's gonna take y'all a second to respond to that. We'll circle back around. I'm giving y'all a chance now. Giving y'all a chance to do the right thing. Certified abomination. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, thank you, Home Gym Physique. Thank you. You don't put fruit in potato salad. It's a starch. Fruit don't belong. Thank you. Exactly, Carlos. You back at the cookout. We'll give you the right directions again. You can come. All right. In fact, you can lead off the electric slide. All right. There you go. I just wanted to know. All right. Look at you. See that? See this? I told Matthew, I already gave you get one shout out, one free plug, and then he's gonna make his comment. That's actually a sales ad, right? All right. He said, awesome, man. I appreciate it. I'm actually running a sale on those items all April. Okay. You need to start sending this stuff to me so I'll know, and then that way I can put it in the news and other things, by the way. Michael Vaudre said, agreed. No crying in baseball, no fruit and potato salad. Exactly. Thank you. Carp said, no fruit. Matthew Porter, no fruit. There you go. I knew y'all were my tribe. No fruit and potato salad. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now we can move on. All right. So we got about 9 minutes. Yeah. Matthew said, will do. Yeah, go ahead. Actually, clear this out here. Yeah, just you can either, I would actually prefer it if you emailed it to me because it's easier for me to add it to the rundown than if you text me. But yeah, just give me a heads up. And if you ever want to just come on and say, hey, I'm having a sale, that's fine as well. Obviously, just let me know ahead of time. I mean, you've got the link to the link doesn't change for the calendar. So you've got the show calendar, so you can schedule yourself to come on and I'll see it. Just let me know, that's what you're coming on for. And then we can schedule you for like a shorter segment or whatever. I'm cool with that. Okay. All right. So as I said, we got about 8 minutes before the next segment is going to start at the 7 a.m. slot. I want to try something. Let's see. There's something I've been looking for. YouTube claims I can do this, right? But I don't know how to do it. I really don't. Okay. So I'm going to try an experiment. So this is only going to happen to, I believe, you guys on YouTube. It's 6:52 and we're starting at 7, but I want to see if we can do this. So we're going to play an ad on YouTube. Okay. Let's see if this works. Okay, so I'm looking to see if that worked in case y'all are listening on the audio. The reason for that experiment was because I am trying to figure out ways to make the ads less disruptive to you guys who are okay, so it didn't play an ad. All right, well there you go. Well, hold up. Kurt, do you have Kurt says no ad. Kurt, do you have YouTube Premium? Because then you're not gonna get an ad. Anybody with YouTube Premium, you're not gonna get an ad. But the reason for me inserting that ad was pretty much because I'm trying to find. No, it's not a banner, and Carlos didn't have it either. Okay, so this is kind of something I couldn't do until I was live, but YouTube tries to give you says that they give you the options, several options for controlling ads. Right now, the ads run automatically. I got zero control over it. And what I'm trying to do is to make it so that they're less intrusive, because it's a whole lot better for an ad to play when I'm between segments than for one to play randomly, like while a guest is trying to answer a question. So I'm trying to adjust the show to make it, make a little bit more sense, and so that it doesn't interrupt your viewing experience. Because if I could say, hey, all right, we're going to run an ad right now. So if you guys want to go to the bathroom or whatever, now's your chance. And I'm able to do that, then that's what I want to do, because I want you guys to enjoy the show. You know what I'm saying? All right. Carlos said he's a YouTube Premium. Yeah, if you're a YouTube Premium user, you have already paid. You're not going to see ads at all. Okay. So this is going to be one of those things. I need somebody who's not a YouTube Premium user to chime in and just let me know if you saw an ad just now when I clicked the insert ads button. And if you didn't see an ad, just let me know, okay? And I don't, by the way, think that it affects those of you who are watching on replay. So if you're watching on replay, you don't have to let me know if you saw an ad because that's a completely different mechanism. I do appreciate y'all watching, though. All right. So now let's jump into the next segment. But first, let's go ahead and shout out to the Central Time Zone. You guys, thank you so much for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Thank you for being here. This show doesn't work if you guys don't get up early to make it a success. And I will tell you that the bulk of our viewership is from the Eastern time and the Central Time Zone. We don't have as many viewers from the Mountain and West Coast time zones. So that means you guys are my peoples. And I appreciate all of your support. This is your first time, hit the like button, hit subscribe for me. And make sure that this is not the last time that you get up way too early with Garage Gym Life. I'm here fighting through the pollen here in Georgia so I can give you guys 3 hours of the best home fitness related coverage I can. And all I need is for you guys to get on board, come here, hit like, hit subscribe, and tell a friend that we're doing something special over here. Also, for those of you who have been here multiple times, but who are not yet channel members, I need you to just do this.
Hey, I don't want you to just watch this video. I need you to like, subscribe, and if you're already a subscriber, I want you to join our channel for 99 cents a month so you can help us improve YouTube for the home gym community. Okay, back to the video.
All right, so there you go. That's my unashamed plea for you guys to become channel members to support what we're doing here. Channel membership only costs 99 cents a month. For less than $12 a year, you get to help us give you guys better content on YouTube. Home Gym Physique said, you sure you want to place ads on live streams? You could potentially lose viewers. So it said, it doesn't bother me as I'm a premium YouTube user. So I'm going to ask you a question, Home Gym Physique. If I don't place an ad on the live stream, how do you propose that I get paid for my work? Okay. And I'm not trying to be, actually, let me go back. I'm not trying to be snarky, but I'm saying like the ads are how I get paid, right? Unless you guys like click the affiliate link. So like if you guys go on, if you guys like use the affiliate links and stuff like that, that's an income stream. But I certainly hope you guys aren't asking me to do like 3 hours for free. I mean, none of y'all go to work for 3 hours for free, right? So that's all I'm saying. I want to give you, and also the money that comes from that we make is how we're able to go do things like we went to HFA. We didn't have to pay to get in because we're media, but we had to pay for the plane tickets. We had to pay for the hotel. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just, I'm not complaining. That just goes along with it. And I get that money by doing that. And to be honest with you, this is actually something I hadn't really planned on talking about. But like I said, we got 2 minutes before we start the next segment. I would much rather be sponsored by you guys than paid by brands to do product reviews. Okay. I don't have time to get into that here, but I would much rather work for you because you're paying me. So then I could do the content you want than to have my content controlled by brands deciding, hey, we want you to talk about this product. We're going to send it to you. And I mean, while they don't control what I say, I still have to depend on them to send me stuff, in order to be able to do that, to have content, right? To a certain extent. And I would rather be 100% funded by you guys because I care about what you guys want to see and what is important to you guys more than I care about what brands care about. And the only way to do that is if I replace the income stream from brands with being sponsored by you, which is in effect what the ads on live streams does. So I hope people don't get turned off by the fact that I want to be paid for my work. But if you do get turned off by the fact that I want to be paid for my work, then all I'm going to say is you get paid when you go to work, right? So how is it fair for me to work and not get paid? I went to a dark place. All right. Eric says, show idea for a couple weeks after HomeGymCon. Give some of us a block to recap our experiences. What stood out, what we bought from them. Oh, heck yeah. I'm down with that. I think that's a fantastic idea. In fact, I am going to write that down right now. Put it down here. That is a fantastic idea. Eric, you know, I'm going to star that because I don't want to lose it. That is outstanding. So instead of doing a HomeGymCon feedback with just the brands, with attendees, with you guys, I think that's outstanding. Heck yeah. HomeGym says, I think you get most views during a live stream, not after. Actually, no. I get more views after the stream. The replay gang is strong. Additionally, because this isn't a live event like a sports event, like a powerlifting meet or something like that, where people like, okay, well, I know what happened, so then they lose interest in watching. I still get views on stuff, especially if like somebody who's a guest who I interview shares it. I got some live streams where I'm still getting views on today. Like they're a year old. And I'm still getting views on them. All right, Kevin said no ads show non-YouTube premium. I saw that you sent me a WhatsApp message, man, but I'm not able to check it until after the show. So I hope it's not urgent. Okay. Said he said when folks say this video is sponsored. Oh, I like when folks say this video is sponsored by me. Yeah, there you go. So all the awesome members plus affiliate links. Yeah, so that's I don't mind telling y'all. So Garage Gym Life is funded in part by doing product reviews. Brands pay us for our time to do product review. We get funded partially by people who are channel members, so they pay 99 cents a month in order to support the channel. And that's actually what I would prefer to grow, right? The most. But then also we get paid off of YouTube watch time, and YouTube watch time is affected, but actually not even affected. YouTube watch time is controlled and funded specifically by ads. And then YouTube premium members, you pay a premium fee so you don't see ads. So the money that you pay for YouTube premium, that gets put in a pot and it's shared out to YouTube content creators. So you guys are still supporting me to a certain extent as well. Oh, I completely understand. Home Gym Physics, I understand. I just thought I'd throw the question out there. Oh, yeah, man. And you got to also kind of, that's another thing too. It's kind of like, let's say you had a store and you have a bunch of people who come through the store and they don't ever buy anything. And you're like, well, if we change this and this, we won't get as many people coming in the store, but we'll get more people coming in the store who actually care about buying the product. Like, are you losing anything because you don't get as much traffic? You know what I mean? So there's that. Yeah. Rob says, yeah, EST, Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh. Hey, just side note, who's going to be y'all's quarterback for the Steelers? I'm just curious because y'all got a situation. You got that y'all got that lunatic Aaron Rodgers potentially. Like, y'all hanging around waiting for him. I don't know if Tom is going to want to deal with that. And Eric said, yes, we'll all have different perspectives as far as HomeGymCon. Dude, I'm telling you, I love that idea. I love that idea 100%. It's gonna happen. Carp said, all good. All big time podcasts have ads or at least promote their own stuff as an ad if they don't have a sponsor or paid ad. Honestly, it's just smart to do that, especially if it's on replay. Yeah, man. So this is a side note. What I'm about to say comes up more than you would think, because I have brands reach out to me and they want to send me stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, here's my rate for, depending on whatever the thing is. and they'll say, oh, well, we can't pay you. Our budget doesn't have that. We're just going to, because this is let's say it's a $3,000 piece of equipment. That's what they say it's worth, right? I'm like, okay. I'm like, I get that, but I still need to be paid for my work, because everybody else in every link of the chain of the sale process of that product would have gotten paid. If you all don't pay me, everybody else would have gotten paid except me. The people in the factory who made it, the people in the customer service department who make sure that it gets processed and sent out, the people who built the website where it's located. I mean, everybody gets paid except the people who are marketing and who reach out to me to ask me if I would do a video review. They get paid too, right? Because that's what their job is. They get paid to find content creators to send, right? And so I'll ask them if they're really adamant. I'm saying, okay, look, so when at the end of the month, when you go to pay your mortgage or your electric bill, do you take a power rack home to give to the electric company? Or do you actually get paid a salary? Because I don't understand how you get paid for your work, but you don't want me to get paid for my work. That usually ends the conversation right there. But by that time, I know, hey, this isn't going to work out anyway. Carp said people can just fast forward if they want to. Yeah, if you don't want to watch it. I mean, I hope you watch it because that's how I get paid. But hey, if you don't want to watch it, man, you're not feeling the vibe of whatever, especially if it's an ad you don't like, go ahead, skip it. You know? Carlos, don't do that to me. Carlos said, because we love what you stand for, J. Ron. Come on, man. You're hurting me. Got me all choked up. Hey, I appreciate you, man. $5. Hey, the $5. You know what? I felt a little bit discouraged earlier this week. And even a little bit yesterday, but knowing, like, my mom came in. I was on the treadmill last night. My mom came in and she was like, I'm looking forward to your show. She didn't even know that I was feeling discouraged. She's like, well, I'm looking forward to your show in the morning. And then I thought about you guys. I was like, man, I gotta be there. Like, Jared's kids are waiting to sing Recliner Rage. You know, I thought about each one of you guys who supports the show. And man, y'all fueled the fire. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys more than you know. So thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat, Carlos. Carp, thank you for the super chat. $4.99 super chat, man. I appreciate you, man. That the level of support you guys give me is beyond awesome. And I can't even put into words how much it means to me that you guys are willing to part with your hard-earned money to support what I'm doing. So thank you so much. Home Gym Physique said 977 viewers, but less than 200 likes. Like the stream. Yeah. Click the like button. What are you doing? It's free. But you know what? It's not just me, because I see other people, they'll have videos. I saw a guy, he had a live stream. This was an NFL content creator, right? He had 10,000 views on his live stream. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. So normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to show y'all something. So this is a guy. Sometimes when I bring him up, right? You'll see. I'm trying to do it in such a way that you guys don't see it pulled up, right? I mean, so that I just have to make sure I keep the sound off. All right, so let's pull this up. Sound is off. All right, so let's share the screen real quick. And yeah, it's a Washington Commanders stream because that's what I'm into. That's my favorite team. All right, so first of all, if I wanted to really make money, I'd be doing NFL stuff because they got 4,000 subscribers, 10,000 views, okay? Only 743 likes. 10,000 views. They had, if I recall, they had about, let me see. I'm trying to see, that's over time. But during the stream, they had about 2,000. And they were like, you know, they were constantly saying, hey, we need more likes. We need more likes. We need more likes. It always gets me how people don't want to click the like button. And I'm not sure why. But this, I always think about this whenever I kind of like get discouraged because I don't get enough likes on my, I think I'm not getting enough likes on my videos. These guys had 10,000 views. And it happens all the time. 10,000 views, only 700 and some change likes. So I try not to take it personally. In fact, I don't take it personally. I just know that that's just something that people just don't do, But hey, hit the like button. Do the right. It costs you no money. It's completely free. Completely free. But it means a lot. Says that's right. Right on Home Gym Physique. Hit that like, folks. And Carp says somebody's got to pay this guy. Hey, look, I'm telling you, I'm 100%. If we got to I have a threshold, right? If we got to the point where the membership on this channel was, in fact, I'll just tell you, we get to 1,000 members, I will still do product reviews, but I only review the products that you say you want me to review. It will basically just do like, hey, what do y'all want me to review this month? And you let me know, and that's what I'll go review. I'm telling you that flat out, because I want to be sponsored by you. I don't want to be supported by another brand. Okay? Carp's getting aggressive. You say if you're not going to hit like, then pay some money. Y'all getting aggressive. I'm jumping away from that. All right. Anyway, so the people who don't want to hear about likes and all that kind of stuff, we're moving on now. All right. So let's go into React and Respond. The first React and Respond item is from Bells of Steel. They've got their silent bells. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. So this is a new drop. So it is the latest in noise canceling technology. And I don't want to show the video because it's not going to make any sense. It's not going to make any sense because we're not going to listen to the audio. So we'll just look at this right here. So noise canceling dumbbells. I don't know if you guys saw this on Instagram when they posted about it, but basically it's a dumbbell that is noise canceling. So it's a lot quieter. So the first thing I say is, what do you think of these? Do you think it's worth it? Is this worth the money? Is it I don't know. Is it something that, like, is it an idea that has is it an idea that is, as it's time for? It's like, like, man, it's long overdue. Finally, we got noise canceling dumbbells. Or is this more like, all right. And I'm looking on their website. I don't see them yet. So I'm actually looking on the website to see if they're there. Let me screen share the website, because that way maybe if you guys know where to find it, we can find it together. So let's go back over here. So they're not under rubber. Let's try urethane. Oh, found them. Nope, no, I didn't find them. Urethane dumbbells. They look like the silent ones. I don't know. Let's see. I'm scrolling down. No, I don't see. I do not see them at all. Let's look on the Bells of Steel Instagram. Let's see if they've got info about them on there. Because I remember seeing this, but I don't remember seeing any. So let's share this. In fact, I will do. So there we go. So you can see it says anti-clanging technology, noise canceling dumbbells. They're designed with quantum muffler particles to absorb all the impact noise. Whisper flex handles. Thin vibration dampeners. This sounds like something you use to travel back in time to find the Infinity Stones. Carp said, he said you can connect through your phone through Bluetooth with an AI coach. What? Okay. Say what now? Said they're so quiet you'll think they're imaginary. I really. So this is 2 days ago. So I'm starting to feel like this may have been an April Fool's thing. Yeah, as soon as he introduced the app. All right, so that's April Fool's. There's absolutely no way. There's no way this is real. There's no, there you go. Got me. You got me. I was like, what? Because I was literally trying to figure out, I said, how in the world do you do a noise? So let me say this too. Here's how they got me. That's hilarious. Here's how they got me. On April 1st, I stay off of social media because I don't want to get got. But then I go when I'm putting the show together, and I'll put I look through my emails, right? And so I should have actually filtered through it because I should have gone through my emails on April 1st and just deleted stuff. I should have known better. So y'all tell Kayvon. In fact, I'm gonna call Andrew and be like, "Hey man, you tell Kayvon that wasn't right because he got me. He got me. He got me." Carlos, no, it's not bumper dumbbells. It's a prank. They got me with a prank. You got me. Let's see. It'd be nice if it. I don't think it prevents the grunt noise. And now, see the Lego stuff. I was like, yeah, nah, ain't no way. I thought about, so I didn't realize my suspicions were aroused when he said aroused. I got suspicious when I got suspicious when he said he was going to whisper motivational stuff into your ear. I said, okay, that's it. There ain't no way this is real. So yeah. Jameson said, did you see Fringe releasing the heavier Silverbacks? Yes, I actually did see that, Jameson. And I like them. We are waiting to pull the trigger until my wife gets to use them, because when I was at HomeGymCon last year and I got to see the ones up to 50 pounds, my wife wasn't with me because my daughter was at a cheerleading competition. And so she had to be with her. She was in Florida, right? And I'm not going to get something that we're both going to use without getting her feedback on it. So we're waiting till we go to HomeGymCon. I like them. I really do. But we're waiting until we go to HomeGymCon for her to use them to see if she likes them. Like, for example, her tastes in terms of knurling are different than mine. So for this, it's got to be something that we both like, or else we're not pulling the trigger on buying it. We've got the option between that. We liked the Iron Bull strength dumbbells, and we liked the dumbbells from American Barbell. We saw those last two at HFA. So we're kind of just narrowing down because this will be an upgrade. This will be our first time upgrading our dumbbells since we actually first got them, because we cobbled together our dumbbell set just from like Craigslist, to be honest with you. Most of it is like Craigslist. So that tells you how long we've had these dumbbells. We've had them for several years, and this will be the first time buying brand new dumbbells for our home gym. So I want to make sure we get something we both like. That's a very long answer, but yes, I did see them. I tell about Carlos said you got. First of all, let's scroll back to where you said bumper dumbbells. I feel like you got. No, I didn't get got. We got, Carlos. We're a team. We got. All right. I'll tell you something else that is not April Fool's. Although some of you may have thought it was April Fool's, but Iron Bull Strength came out with a Keyhole rack. So let's go to, get rid of that. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Okay. So Iron Bull Strength came out with a Keyhole rack. And this is what I was talking about, Cart. I said that you were kind of involved in it. So this is it here. Excuse me. All right, so that's the bench. But anyway, so that's the rack. And I know a fair amount of you guys dropped questions on it and comments. And I think, Carp, you were one of the ones who said that you wanted the keyholes, that you would prefer if the keyholes were on the cross members as well as on the uprights. I will say this rack, so now they've announced that it's going to have a functional trainer as well, plate loaded functional trainer. And good old Antoine right there. I believe that's Antoine. Yeah, Antoine. No, it's not. I'll say Antoine lost weight. No. Anyway, so this is going to be their functional trainer. It's going to be plate loaded, and that's also coming out in the works. But anyway, so the rack minus the functional trainer is what Frank showed me when I was at HFA. And you remember he showed me that, and for those of you who saw the interview where we're talking about what Iron Bull Strength is doing to address their customer service issues, he showed me a picture on his phone, and it was this. And you guys saw my face, right? So it was this. I was like, oh, okay, this is different. They're trying to get into the Keyhole game. Well, I want to give a shout out because from what I understand, the original idea for this came from Flex Marks the Spot. And it's part of a discussion that Iron Bull Strength was having. So Joe Gray was having a discussion with Iron Bull Strength, and then he talked to Mark from Flex Marks the Spot, and Mark brought up the Keyhole idea. Okay, so that's a little bit of how this all happened, and that's how they end up with the Keyhole. So I'm not going to miss. I'll be back. All right, I'll be back to the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers thing in a second, Rob. So Carb said 1-inch holes everywhere. Not sure why you put 5/8 holes in a cross member without having 1-inch, especially if you're going to do Keyhole, Snowman, and other ones. So remember though that their racks are set up as 5/8 holes, right? And so from what I understand from Frank, basically what happened, the reason why he showed me the pictures, because I said, look, we were just kind of talking before we were doing our sound checks, our audio levels checks. And I was like, the big thing for me is that I've got a lot of attachments that I like that are 1-inch, that are for 1-inch holes. And it's just frustrating having to go replace all of them with 5/8 hole versions, if I can even find a 5/8 hole version of whatever the thing is, right? And he said, well, let me show you something. And so that's why they're doing the Keyhole, so that people who already have an Iron Bull Strength rack, so they've got 5/8 attachments, because that's what they start out with. They start out with 5/8 holes, right? So if you have an Iron Bull Strength rack, you've got 5/8 attachments. But let's say you already had 1-inch attachments, or you want something that isn't made in 5/8. You now have the option, if you get these Keyholes, to be able to use either 1-inch or 5/8. So that's why they didn't just make and they also don't want to make two separate racks. They don't want to make a 1-inch version, and they don't want to make a 5/8 version. They just say, we want to make one rack. So that's the best I can do, unless I'm trying to get Frank back from Iron Bull Strength back on here. He said tentatively he's agreed to come on at HomeGymCon. So that actually would be an even better place to discuss it, because I believe, will have this rack there with the Keyhole. So it'll be kind of like, we can talk about it, and then you go right downstairs or wherever, however you get to the expo, to see it in person, right? But yeah, that's the first. That's the excuse me. That's the explanation that I got for why it's both. Carp said it reminds me of the Dick's Sporting Goods Ethos rack, which has 1-inch hole, it has pegs, and has 5/8 holes. That's what I mean. If you're gonna do that, have those holes everywhere in the cross members and the uprights. So the reason, to me now, as far as the cross members, I personally don't use my cross members for a lot of stuff. Like, I don't put a ton of attachments on my cross members. So that's probably why it doesn't bother me as much. But I get why you just for the sake of, like, if nothing else, you want it to be uniform, right? But I will also say that they have said that they're going to have it for the cross members. So let me see here. I'm going to look here, and because they had they responded to a lot of these questions. So so this is new standard. All right. there we go. Plus, because I saw it. So these are some of the questions that do you have cable attachments? Are they plate loaded or you have a weight stack option? Well, we just saw that it's going to be plate loaded, right? And then hidden comments. I don't even know why this was hidden by Instagram. So the details here are immaculate. 3 replies. That's from Jim Crafter. What's up? Love the full keyhole. Okay. Let's try here. I'm looking for the one that's got the most comments on it. And so, of course, now I can't find the junk. But I thought I saw somewhere where they said that it's going to be available for both, where they'll have the keyholes and the cross members. All right, like the details in the keyholes. So now, naturally, I can't find it. But anyway, I thought I saw where they said that it's going to be available for both, where you'll have it on the cross members as well. Okay, so let's see what happens if I add comments. All right, so there, that's my answer to that. I think that they said that they're going to do that. So Carp said it's like the new Titan cable system. It has 1-inch hole uprights on the backside, but has 5/8 on the front trolley, which is also weird. Now that I don't understand. I mean, I'm sure they have an answer, and I think Jake on Garage Gym Radio was on Neural News rather was talking about. He played a video from Titan, and I think that from what I remember, Jake, if you're still watching, go ahead and chime in. But I think what Titan said, and I'm not a Titan apologist by any stretch of imagination, but I think what they said is the reason why they went with 5/8 is because essentially the trolley will be lighter, whereas if it's 1 inch, the trolley had to be heavier, which would make it harder to use for somebody who's not as strong. So it would be harder. So the person who was talking was a woman, and she said it would be harder for her to use a trolley that's for 1-inch holes just because it would have made it heavier. So that's why. Okay. And he said the keyhole does look tighter too, so it'll hold a 1-inch pin and a 5/8 better. With a snowman cut in, you want to get as much slop in the pin. Yeah. All right. Jake said yes. So Jake is confirming. Yeah. I thought that's what they said. They said basically the reason why they have 5/8 holes on the uprights for those of you, I'll put that back up. Carp's question said, why does the Titan cable system have 1-inch hole uprights in the back, 5/8 on the front where the trolley is? Because it makes the trolley heavier if it's 1-inch holes. And so they went with 5/8 to make it more user friendly. So there's that. Let's stop sharing. That's a distraction to me. But I want to know, so it's projected to be available within the next 2 weeks, but I would say look for it, definitely by mid-May and definitely by HomeGymCon. So I want to know what you guys think. I've heard from Carp. What do the rest of you guys think about this from Iron Bull Strength? Is this something that has your interest? Is this something that you're like, hey, maybe we'll check that out? Is this something you're like, not really on my radar at all? I want to know. Let's jump back up here to Rob's question before it goes away, because I asked him about the Steelers quarterback. He says, oh my, Steelers quarterback is a sore subject. I'm hoping no Aaron Rodgers. Dude, that dude is such a distraction. He's very talented, but I think he's at the point where his attitude outweighs his talent. His bad attitude outweighs his talent. And you just look at everywhere he's gone has been unsuccessful. The team hasn't done well. You end up losing players. And he's got, in my opinion, he got a coach fired. Yeah, Mike Tomlin does not need that sort of cancer. I think Aaron Rodgers should just retire, go smoke mushrooms or whatever he does. Just go do something else with your life, Aaron. Figure it out. Go be on Pat McAfee. But yeah. You thought I was going to be talking about the new Titan cable system. I kind of did. So I forgot you don't like Titan. I most certainly do not. Most certainly do not. I'm not a fan, and I'm not going to be a fan. But, you know, if it's pertinent, I'll talk about it. I just, you know. But you notice I didn't bring it up. And Iron Bull Strength, the last thing is Chris from Detroit. I don't remember which post it was on, but he asked about the half rack options and that Iron Bull Strength rack. They said that the Keyhole is potentially going to be an option for the half rack as well. All right, next item. So keep on dropping your comments, your reactions to the Keyholes on the Iron Bull Strength power rack. Let me know what you think about it. And if you're watching on replay, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know, what do you think about the Iron Bull Strength power rack coming out with an upgrade to feature keyholes as well? What do you think of the fact that they're going to have a plate loaded functional trainer? What do you guys think about that? Let me know all about that in the comments. All right, next item is this thing. It's the Calf Pro. Okay, and look, I understand that sometimes when I talk about stuff, I'm self-aware enough to know that sometimes when I talk about stuff, it's I kind of come across as like one of those back in my day it was better, right? But look, as far as I'm concerned, the Calf Pro is one of those things where it's kind of like, like, do we need this? So basically, so that's how you use it. Well, that's their foam roller, so we know that. But yeah, it's basically just a thing to stretch your calf. Okay, great. You stretch your calf with it. I don't really see the big deal. So you put your foot on it, you stretch your calf. I quite literally do the same thing in the doorway minus the Calf Pro. And now, grant you, I do have an adjustable, you know, the slant board downstairs. I've got the Infinity Wedge downstairs. But I don't see this as something like, am I missing something? I don't see the big deal about this Calf Pro. It's literally looks like something I would see on starting on Etsy and then slowly making its way to Instagram. Because I just don't see what's so special about it, you know. But I see it all over my feed, and I see people like super excited, like, oh, we're gonna do an okay, so like this one, I don't want to see that. It's right here. It's literally, I mean, so like it's like this is the best pre-ab tool I've ever used. It's great. It's a game changer for pickleball and tennis players. You stretch your calves, man. Am I missing something? I mean, am I missing something? I don't. You stretch your calves. Find a free set of steps. Or just put your foot on the door on the door jamb without the Calf Pro. I promise you'll get the same effect. I've done the same stretch while washing dishes. I just put my foot on the bottom of the kitchen counter. I don't understand what the big deal is. Am I y'all tell, I'm willing to be wrong. So tell me excuse me, tell me if I'm missing something. But then tell me what I'm missing. Like, why is this special? Why is it all across my Instagram feed? And also, bonus points if you tell me how to get it off my Instagram feed, because I'm sick and tired of seeing it. All right, so let's go ahead and move along there. Move on to something that's a little bit more interesting. Carb said 5 miles in the snow. That's right, uphill both ways. Back in my day, when you walked uphill, it was uphill both ways because we were tougher back then. So Rep has come out with the Nighthawk bench. Have you guys seen this? Nighthawk bench. I just saw it. I just watched the video of it. I saw it before, but I watched the video. They posted on YouTube last night, and I saw it. Maybe it was this morning. because I was up doing show prep and I saw it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll screen share so you guys can kind of check it out a little bit. I've got the sound off because while I don't mind showing the video because I am promoting Rep's thing for free, but I am taking money. I don't need to get a copyright thing from the music. So you guys are not going to hear the music. You're not going to hear Adam's intro, but you will get to see the bench and see what it's all about. So let's go ahead and play. So this is Nighthawk bench. They said it is an upgrade to the AB 4100. Got a closed ladder system, as you guys can see. Got a molded polyurethane pad. So you guys see it's got the angled handle. Supposedly this thing weighs just 88 pounds. Got the knurl front handle. Stores vertically. Got heavy duty wheels. What I like, so it's compatible with attachments. So it's compatible. The adjustable bench leg roller. See if it's all right. We'll skip some of this here. See if we can show being used. Okay, that's not fascinating. All right, so good shot. They say I'm trying to see how it works with the there we go. All right, so it's compatible with the adjustable bench leg roller, and then they've also got a leg extension leg curl in development. So there's the leg roller right there. So you attach it on the back, which is kind of like I don't see why they blurred it out, because to me that looks like the Crandall Fitness FID bench, where you put the leg roller on the back up here. But whatever. And it is available now. So let's go here. So it's retailing for $449.99 with shipping included. Available in red. Shout out to Carp. That's the Carp's cut. That's Carp's color right there. Red and black. I'm a fan of red and black myself. Also available in blue. Gray, I guess that is. Green. Green is a pre-order, but you can get it in what looks like roughly OD green. See if we add the leg roller on. Oh yeah, we're not doing that. I'm not buying anything right now. Heck no. Let's get rid of that. My card is dang sure empty. That's right. But yeah, so it comes with that, and then they said that it also has so it's got 7 back positions: 0, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 85 degrees. 4 seat positions: 15, 0, minus 15, 0, 10, and 20 degrees. Made out of 7 and 14 gauge steel. Stable. It's 16.7 inches high, so it's going to be compliant. If for those of you who compete in powerlifting, it's IPF spec, so you're training on a bench that's roughly the same height as what you would use in competition, which does make a difference. And also it'll allow you, if you're a shorter lifter, it lets you get flat-footed leg drive. We already saw that it does vertical storage. So yeah. But they're claiming that the way that it's balanced will make it feel as light, if not lighter, than the AB 4100. So that's good. Carp said, looks like you get black and matte, black, all the colors on pre-order. So yeah, all colors are on pre-order. But I mean, hold on a second here. You said they're on pre-order, shipping March 30th. But it's April 4th. So I would assume that people are getting, if people pre-ordered, then I would assume that the people who pre-ordered those colors already should be getting those red. We should start seeing the different colors on people's Instagram feeds and whatnot pretty soon, because those pre-orders would have shipped March 30th. So I'm looking to see what people think about it once they get it in their hands, especially people who were fans of the original of the AB 4100. see what people think about this as an upgrade. Oh, May 30th. Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. Well, that changes. I'm still looking forward to seeing what people think of it. I'm assuming they're going to take it with them to HomeGymCon. So you guys will get a chance I want to see what you guys think of it after you guys have checked it out at HomeGymCon. And Carp said they're teasing a leg developer for it. Yeah, they said that they're going to have like a leg extension, leg curl. So I'm interested to see what that ends up looking like. And yeah, just what people think of it. Let's stop sharing. So now I want to hear from you guys. I know what Carp said. I want to hear what you guys think. Is this something that you would pull the trigger on, even if it's a pre-order, or do you need to see more? Are you going to kind of wait until you hear from other people who've already pre-ordered what they think of it? I'll say that right now, off the bat, it's $499, like I said. I'm sorry, $449. But to me, it just being lighter and having a closed ladder system isn't enough for me to want to upgrade. So I've got the AB 5200 1.0, and we've kind of stuck with that because it's working for me, it's working for my wife. For us to get anything else, it's got to be a definitive upgrade. And I just don't see this as a big enough upgrade. It's like a nice to have. So let's say I go to the store, the rep store, go to one of their showrooms or something, or I'm on their website and I have a choice of buying this or buying the AB 5200. I would probably go with this, right? But since I already have the AB 5200 1.0, granted it's 1.0, but since I already have that, if I'm going to pay money to upgrade, it's got to be a clear upgrade. And for that reason, at this point, I'm leaning away from getting it and leaning more towards getting something that would give me more functionality from a performance standpoint. So I would basically just spend the extra money to get the Exponent Edge Infinity Bench, which you guys can see here. This is not sponsored, by the way. It's just I literally think that I would rather get this. If I'm trying to upgrade my bench anyway, I really want to upgrade. So I want to get something that lets you do all these things, lets you have more range of motion for overhead tricep work, lets you have, like, you potentially could get this and not have to have a seal row pad attachment for your excuse me, for your rack. Okay. You get the preacher curl option right here with the Edge Infinity Bench. So you get a lot of different options. And it also is very sturdy. I saw it in person at HomeGymCon. And I think in the latest version, which is an update to the version that I saw at HomeGymCon, has 2 additional bench angles. So it's actually got more functionality than what I saw at HomeGymCon. I'll put the link to the video where Jay Benoit is showing me the bench. I'll put the link in the video in the description for this video so you guys can watch it. But it's already sold out once, but they're bringing back a pre-order. So yeah, it's a flat, incline, and half bench all in one. Gives you chest and back support. So the only thing is, like, it's not a decline bench, but I don't have a decline bench now. And I would say that out of all of actually I do have a decline bench because I've got our leg extension, leg curl has a decline on it. So if I need to do decline work, I usually just go over there. I should have go ahead and mention that. But for me, the added functionality of being able to do overhead tricep work without bumping into the bench, and all that is more valuable than just an 88-pound bench instead of whatever it weighs, whatever the one that I have now weighs. I don't remember, and I don't feel like looking it up. I know it doesn't weigh 88 pounds. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it. To me, it's like it's not a big enough upgrade. So, all right. So Carp said the Prime Shorty bench. Are you saying that the Prime Shorty bench is more of something that you would want to that you'd rather use. Okay, so what's the prime shorty bench got going for it? So let's share this tab. So we're looking at the prime shorty bench. Okay, so you can remove the headrest. Okay. I mean, so that's nice. For one thing, the prime shorty bench is $725 US. Well, no, we're not doing that. I like my monetization. Yeah, I'm not removable ankle pad upgrade for decline, so you can do decline. I do like the weight capacity of 1,000, but and I guess technically, if you remove the headrest, you can just do preacher curls on the backrest part. But looking at the infinity bench, you can do. I just like that because again, you can do preacher curls there. You can use it as a seal row pad by setting it up this way. You can do that. I probably wouldn't be doing that exercise, but my wife probably would. She'd probably use this. And if she started using that bench for it, then that means we would be able to get rid of some of the other stuff that we have in here. Like we have a dedicated hip thrust bench. We could get rid of that if we had this. So, yeah, I think the prime shorty bench is interesting though. T-Dog, what's up, man? Said started watching Lane catching up. My basement has 84 inches of height. So your basement is 84 inches. Okay, I see that. So that giant lifting rack is too tall for your basement anyway. And it's not that I'm saying that, let's be clear. It's not that I'm saying that there aren't basement gyms with a low ceiling height. My objection is when you make a rack that's only for people with low ceilings. And I'm like, well, what about the rest of us who have ceilings with plenty of height who don't want a very short bench? I mean, a very short rack. At the very least, you need to have an angled power pull-up bar option so we can get full range of motion. You know what I mean? I think it's short-sighted to only make power racks for one smaller segment of the population. Because I would say that there are more homes in America with garages than there are with basements. Okay? So there's that. And Carp said, I'm saying that this may be reps' attempt to get in that market because of all the future attachments like dial motion or other company attachments. That's a good point, that they may be wanting to make sure that they are compatible with other attachments like that. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. And Eric said, that's what I said to Major Fitness is too short for me. Yeah, it's like, now, so let's flip it the other way. Let's say they only made power rack. Let's say there's a company that only made power racks for people that had 10-foot ceilings. Think of how you would feel as somebody with an 84-inch ceiling if all the power racks were too tall for your basement. That's how we feel in reverse. You know what I mean? So it's like, think about your entire potential customer base. Or if you just don't want my money, I guess that's their way of saying they don't want my money because they're not getting my money as long as they got them little bitty racks. Eric said I had my 90-inch Titan rack in my basement with a sheet of plywood and stall mats underneath that still had room. Well, okay, yeah. So that further subdivides the basement category into people with basements who have low ceiling clearance and people with basements who have high ceiling clearance. Eric said I can always cut it shorter. I'm not going to weld it longer. Yeah. You know, maybe you're dealing with a situation like the late great Tommy Kono, you know. I'm not saying people that short ceilings and basements don't exist. I'm just saying don't design for that or strictly for that. That's all I'm asking. All right. We're at 7:49, so we're running out of time. I want to talk about this before we get our guest on here. So shout out to everybody who's ordered a Garage Gorilla Bar. The orders are still coming in, and I went ahead and I've only sent one out for free. I sent it out to my guy Jaisyn Mike. Jaisyn is so Jaisyn has sent a bunch of free stuff to me, including sponsoring this show by sending me products that I could use to give as gifts. So he gave me some free wrist wraps. He sent out some free backpacks. He sent me a free backpack. He's giving me stuff. So I was like, you know what? When I found out that he was having an issue with gripping a power bar, because for those who don't know, he cut off his fingers in an accident. He was doing some stuff at the house for his business and cut his fingers off. So Jaisyn is a world record holding bench presser. Okay. And I mean multiple, like his record in the IPF. Think about it. So there's like 100 countries in the IPF. All right. Out of all of those countries, each country has a federation. And so out of all of those competitors, Jaisyn Mike holds the world record for the bench press and for full power squat, bench, and deadlift in his age group. And for a while he had the open record too, I believe. Anyway, the point is the dude's very strong, 600 plus pound bencher, and then he cut his fingers off. They had to he had to go to the hospital to get him reattached. But now he's having problems grabbing a bar, a 29 millimeter power bar. So while he's getting his grip strength back, I was like, hey man, maybe you should try a thicker bar. And I said, I've got this 2-inch knurled axle bar I can send you. The knurling is going to be just like what you have on a power bar. You're going to have your ring marks. So it's not going to change your training from that standpoint, but at least you'll be able to grab the bar. It's the least I can do, for what you've done for me. And also, he's in a situation that I want to see people succeed. So we went ahead, we sent him a bar, and he put his first workout with it this morning. So I'm going to share the screen. It's kind of cool. This is the most weight that's ever been benched on the Garage Gorilla Bar. So this is 502 pounds. Remember I said Jaisyn is normally a 600 plus pound bencher. Excuse me. This is him doing 512 pounds 3 days ago with his feet up. Okay. This is with a 29 millimeter power bar. All right. So that's that. This is him benching 573. Okay. And again, like I said, he's having issues with gripping the bar. And if you can't grab the bar, if you don't know, if you can't grab the bar and squeeze it when you bench, it's going to cut your power, right? But he used Garage Gorilla Bar, and Garage Gorilla Bar is actually harder to use because the sleeves don't rotate. You don't have revolving sleeves. And he got 502 pounds. You see that he was like, this is, he calls it a death rep, where it's like you do it and you better rack it or else your life is going to change or end. Right? So there wasn't any he's like, hey, this junk is heavy. So it's really gratifying to see somebody of that caliber, number one, say that the bar is useful to him, because he did an Instagram post and I shared it and all that. But so shout out to all of you guys. And shout out to Jaisyn for actually putting our bar through his paces. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with it, because like I said, he's the strongest dude who has ever used our bar. And you guys know that the Garage Gorilla Bar is a labor of love for me. It's something that I feel very strongly about. I think that it's a great training tool. We are tweaking the stuff with the powder coating and things like that. But in my opinion, and I don't put my name behind a lot of stuff, in my opinion, you get this bar, it'll be one of the best things you've done for your training if you care about being able to press a lot of weight, or if you're experiencing joint pain related to using a normal power bar. So that's my commercial for it. Shout out to Cart, because I've seen all the posts that you're making. I actually just shared one earlier this morning where you were benching with it. So, I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much for the support. All right. Let me do one thing here real quick. See if we can do this. All right. So, all right. So we should be going live on this LinkedIn. So shout out to everyone who is watching on the LinkedIn platform. I went ahead. I keep on forgetting to add LinkedIn to my to the show when I go live. But I wanted to make sure I did it because my next guest is someone I met through LinkedIn. And so I want to make sure I show LinkedIn some love, because without them, I would not have my next guest on. So first of all, shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. If this is your first time here, please hit that like button, whether you're watching on LinkedIn, you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on YouTube. Hit the like button for me so we can get the show to grow. Please take a second and share this link with other people who would enjoy hearing this content. We talk about home fitness related content, and we get live reactions from the audience while we are streaming, and then we also get comments from you guys on replay as we talk to people who are difference makers who affect the home gym community. Now, my next guest is Matt Burruss. I hope I said your name correctly, Matt. I see you back. So Matt Burruss from Xpodium. So Xpodium is a brand that delivers premium fitness gear to elevate your strength and performance. And they outfit athletes who train at home as well as athletes who train in CrossFit boxes. They do stuff for physical therapy clinics. They're all what do the kids say? They're everywhere like air. Okay. So that is this is really cool because he's the first guest I'm going to have on who I actually met, not on Instagram, not in any other way, but I actually made a connection with on LinkedIn. So everybody, let's go ahead and give Matt a warm welcome for our first guest of the day. Hey, Matt, you ready to go? All right. With that said, all right, let's go. Welcome to the stage, Matt. Matt, thanks for being here. Yeah, the crowd going wild.
Nice, I love it. The buttons.
All right, yeah. Matt brought his a busload of his fans. All right, all right. Hey man,
at 8 a.m. right?
Hey, that's it, dude. That's it.
Yep.
Hey, if you're gonna go hard or don't do it at all. All right.
That's right.
So we've already got. So yeah, Mike Brantley said this cat is global. I'm watching from LinkedIn right now. Hey, hey Mike? I appreciate it, man. Share that link. You know this. You know the situation. You know how we do it. All right. So thank you for joining me today. All right, and I kind of gave you like, I'm gonna say a makeshift intro because I don't know your brand like you do. So I'm gonna let you do. I want you to introduce yourself to people who are watching who may not be familiar with you and Xpodium. So let's pretend we're at a party. And I just say, hey, Matt, what do you do? So give me your best elevator speech. What would you tell me?
I would tell real quick, I kind of have an interesting background, little different than a lot of people in fitness. I actually worked on Wall Street for 16 years, made some money, ended up leaving and putting on some weight. I'll show you the picture. And I ended up getting into fitness. Long story short, leaving some stuff out there, I got into being a sourcing manager for fitness products. So I had an account with basically every fitness company almost in the world. So I learned all about fitness products. And from there, I moved on to a company called Stroops, which is an American manufacturer that makes really awesome resistance products, functional products. And then from there, I met Spencer Panchik, who's a professional CrossFitter, who I'm in our space now, which we call Area 52. It's our secret kind of location here. And I met him, and that's how I learned about Xpodium, which is a really, really cool brand that somehow I had never heard of. And being a sourcing manager at one of the bigger distributors in the country, I was like, how could I have never heard of these people? So I typed it into Google, like everybody does, right? And I see these amazing pictures of people just like kind of like a rogue, right? And they have everything on as Xpodium. These people have stickers on their cars. They love it. And I'm like, why is this not in the United States? What am I missing? And Spencer is my business partner, is sponsored by them. He's a pro CrossFitter, and he's sponsored by, you know, glass companies and shoes and the whole top to bottom. And the owner of this company is a really great guy named Han. And he uses this equipment every day. He uses the accessories every day. And seeing these pictures and how much these people love this brand, Spencer came to me and said, hey, Han really wants to bring this to the USA and Canada, right? And he hasn't been able to find anyone to do it. And Spencer, at this point, we've known each other for 4 or 5 years. He's like, Matt, you can do it. You know all the distributors. You know all the people in fitness, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. So long story short, we kind of put something together, and the gear part of the business, which is grips, belts, knee sleeves, and everything, was launched about 8 or 9 months ago. And we got our brand new equipment website launching at the end of this month, which pretty much will have everything you can see on like major sites like Rogue. And it's going to be awesome. And you know, what I really want to say about this brand though is the history of this brand is all these people over in Asia, Australia, and around there are CrossFitters and performance people, and they couldn't get their hands on Rogue. They just couldn't get, it was either too expensive to ship there, or they couldn't get it there. And that's how this started.
So they couldn't even get from like Rogue Europe?
It was no. It's just hard. Like if you're in like, we sell to Thailand, Malaysia, Mongolia, we have spots there. You just couldn't get it there, and it was too expensive to ship. So Han's like, I'm going to just start making this stuff, because he's right in South Korea and China area and has been in the factories his whole life. So he put it together, and I mean, it made sense, you know? So that's why I was excited about it, because you go on there and you see what they've built over there. And I'm like, how is this not in the United States? You know?
Let's, so I don't know if Kevin is still watching. It's kind of late where he is, but I'm going to WhatsApp him, just that we try to be humane. I'll just message him, and that way, I don't want to wake the wife and kids up. Yeah, he's not getting me in trouble. So are you still watching is what I just asked him. And the reason why is because you mentioned several Asian countries, but I didn't hear Japan.
No, it's in Japan. No, we're in Japan.
You guys are in Japan. All right, Kevin, Home Gym Gains right there.
Yeah.
Xpodium is in Japan. And so the reason why I brought it up is so he's with the Home Gym Gains YouTube channel, and he's just getting his start now. He's doing reviews and things like that. So I guess this is a free plug for Kevin. But one of the things that he said is that Japan doesn't really have a robust home gym equipment market. And I would say part of that is probably because it's such a communal society. Like people go to the gym. But I'll say, just without going way down the rabbit hole in terms of his story, Kevin has tattoos. So he's Filipino, okay? But he lives in Japan, and he's got tattoos. Well, in Japanese culture, some gyms don't even allow you in if you have tattoos, because there's a negative connotation with the Yakuza for tattoos. It's just not something that they do, right? And so he said literally some gyms won't even let you in. Well, so he's trying to start his home gym. He's ordering a lot of stuff from the U.S., which isn't, horrible, but it's still not convenient. He's like, there's a limit to what he gets. So I want to make sure that he's aware that you guys provide to him, especially because you said you have an equipment website coming out soon.
Yeah, we do. We're going to have Xpodium USA, which it's out now. Our gear's up there.
Okay.
And we're going to distribute to Canada, South America, and the United States. We actually shipped a container last week to Dubai, so we're there too. But we have a distributor in Japan. We have a distributor, about 7 or 8 in that area. So he'll go through them, but they'll take care of it,
So it's going to be gymnastics grips, knee sleeves, jump ropes, wrist wraps. So essentially stuff you need to do CrossFit.
Yeah,
It's gonna
that's
be
what's
more
on
like
there, John. That's what's on there now. That's just the accessories, all the equipment, everything: kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells.
oh,
stainless
that's
steel
what I
rigs,
want to know. Yeah, like tell me
all
about
that's
that.
launching. Yeah, that's launching at the end of the month.
So
When my
kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells,
everything, GHD machines. I mean,
rigs. You're gonna have rigs and everything, like for the home gym.
my stainless steel rigs, like I know you want to know what my favorite product is. When you see my
Sure.
stainless steel rigs, they are awesome and the price is awesome. And I know like my partner, Spencer, CrossFitter, he
Okay.
loves the black steel rig, but guess what? He's fallen in love with the stainless steel. You can't, it's sweet, dude. It's just sweet. Like,
So I'm looking. I thought you posted something on your LinkedIn.
tons of it. Yeah, I'm kind of warm.
Showing like some of the. Well, I thought it was like a picture of something, and so of the rig. But I can't. Of course, you know how it goes. I can't find it now, so I can't pull it up. But yeah.
Well,
Okay, but that's good though. So you guys are gonna have racks, rigs, and especially the other thing for Japan is noise, because you have thinner walls.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't anticipate going down this Japanese home gym equipment rabbit hole, but they have thinner walls, and so and their homes are a little bit smaller. So that's something that if you guys have stuff that accommodate that, I think you guys are going to do. You make a killing over there because, I mean, there's not really any competition.
Yeah, well,
like nothing.
We'll customize anything too. Like
Nice.
every rig I've sold so far has been custom.
Okay.
Size, shape doesn't matter. You just let us know. So if there are some really small, awkward spaces there, it's perfect. You know.
Oh, sweet. You guys do. So is it like as a general rule, 3x3, 11 gauge steel? Like what are the?
Yeah, but
specs?
I mean, if you want something, I don't know why you ever want 4x4 or anything, but if you wanted that, we could do it.
No, I mean, like you're not going like 2x2, 14.
No. Ours is all standard 3x3. Pretty much everything from every other company fits on ours, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like if you have accessories from other stuff and you want to buy a new stainless rig, it's gonna fit on ours.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah, that's outstanding, man.
Yeah.
So like I said, part of the reason I wanted to have you on is because I know maybe this is arrogant, but I was like, well, I haven't heard of Xpodium before this exchange, and we kind of connected. Yeah. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna assume at least one other person hasn't heard of them. And if one other person hasn't heard about it, that's good enough to get you on the show, right?
Yep.
So what, and I asked you, what is your, I think you told me what your favorite product is, but what is your signature product? Like, what would you say is the thing when people think Xpodium, like Mercedes, it's a car, right?
Yep.
But with Xpodium, it's like, if you think of Xpodium, what's the thing that you think people immediately say, oh yeah, they make the.
Okay. We have, again, some equipment companies just sell equipment. Some also sell accessories. Like Rogue sells equipment and accessories. We sell equipment and accessories, very different markets. So in accessories, definitely our sticky grip. In the CrossFit game now, there's a big thing going out. There's a company called Frog Grips that makes these really cool.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
For using.
Were they the ones that were on Shark Tank?
I think they were probably.
Okay. No,
I can't confirm that because I'm not a big Shark Tank guy. But
if that's them, that's why I know about them. Just
well, they've got a really great company. But we make really good grips for CrossFit and accessories, belts and stuff like that. But again, back to the equipment. I mean, John, we have great dumbbells, great kettlebells, great bumper plates. But I'm going to sit here and tell you that our bumper plates are better than any. I mean, it's all coming from the same place. Our rigs, though, our stainless steel rigs, again, just Google Xpodium and you'll go through the pictures worldwide and see these rigs in these different gyms, and you'll go, okay, yeah, that's definitely his signature product.
So and I'm glad you brought up. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's see here.
I'm building, John, in this area 52 that I'm in here. I will have in 5 weeks built the sickest 3,000 square foot gym you have ever seen with all of this equipment in it. So have me back on, and I'd love to just show you guys. I have a camera that follows me around and show you guys. And because it's a little bigger than a home gym. It's maybe a home gym on steroids, but it'll have all the stuff. So
okay. Yeah, I'm so now that I put in Xpodium and rigs, now I'm seeing the stuff here.
yeah,
I'm seeing stuff pulling up. Yeah, okay.
it's
Nice.
harder to pull it off Google because we're in America and I just brought it here, so the SEO is just warming up.
Yeah, so now trying to figure out what I mean.
If you went to Japan and you Googled it there, boom, it come right up. And
so Kevin will be able to find it, no problem.
Yeah,
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned CrossFit, and you mentioned Rogue. Have you guys, just to cut to the chase, CrossFit's being sold again. How has that affected you guys? Because you also sponsor CrossFit events.
We do.
So
We do.
Has the sale of CrossFit helped or hurt things like the Pirate Games?
So, okay, this is a really interesting subject. And my business partner, Spencer, is a professional CrossFitter. If you look him up, his older brother, Scott Panchik, one of the OGs of CrossFit. His twin brother, Saxon, is also a pro CrossFitter. The genetics of this family is unbelievable. I want to call him. But anyway, he's been involved with this since day one. Okay. And so he's very passionate about it and he loves CrossFit. And he's been honestly like a little perturbed about it and upset because he's worried about something that he's dedicated his life to, you know. Right. But I'm kind of the business side of our business and I see it a little differently. Okay. We're going in fitness through a vortex of change now where we're seeing competitive fitness become a big thing, right? And if you rewind back to the beginning of CrossFit, other than marathons and triathlon, stuff like that, CrossFit was it. If you wanted to compete in fitness, it was CrossFit. Now there's all these other things going on. There's High Rocks, you know, there's tactical fitness, which we do a lot of, Spencer's big in, and there's other stuff to compete in. So there's other options, okay? But to go back to the sale of CrossFit, a lot of that's having to do also with my business partner's close friend who died in the CrossFit Games last year. There's some backlash from that. It was a terrible thing. It was, I mean.
He's the one who drowned, correct?
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's horrible. Like, I don't even want to discuss it. It's so horrible. But, and some people, you know, think it could have been avoided and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But that's hurting CrossFit too. But I think
rightfully so.
What's that?
I said rightfully so, because without like digging into the circumstances or whatever, just from a human level, think about the family that just lost a son, a brother, or whatever. He's gone. Yeah. He's gone.
Was there too. So
there needs to be an effect. Yeah.
But go ahead. I can tell you though, again, CrossFit, it's being sold because I think they need new management, and the CrossFitters want new management there, and I think it'll be good. But I can tell you one thing, and I told this to Spencer. I'm 46 and I have gray hair, so I'm not 66, but I've seen a lot of stuff in my time. CrossFit ain't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere, and I'll tell you why it's not going anywhere. Because at the end of the day, CrossFit, unlike some of these new, I'm not going to name any names, fitness things that are coming out that are seeming pretty cool but are not established yet, CrossFit is the most badass, get ripped, physical thing out there. It was formed by SEALs, and they'll always have that. And they might, the amount of people that do it might go down a little bit sometimes and might go up because there's other things like High Rocks and whatever. But at the end of the day, CrossFit is what it is and it'll always be what it is. It's not going away. It's not. It's established.
Right.
Like, so, you know, I've heard people say that. It's not. And the new management's going to come in. They're going to figure out how to help the affiliates a little bit more and grow. And I guarantee you, I'd put money on this, that 3 years from now, CrossFit's back on top.
So I think that CrossFit has a couple of things in its favor. Number one, it is now, it's a verb, it's a noun, it's a pronoun. It's actually like, when I say it's a pronoun, it's not just like, it's not just like in casual. It's like in casual reference when you're like, oh, I'm gonna do a CrossFit workout. right? So heck, it's an adjective.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, so it's like Xerox. Home gym physique. I see your question. I haven't forgotten it. I started, so I'm gonna come back to it. Okay. Matt, what's going on? We got somebody else from the UK invading us. We just finished talking right before you came on, Matt, about how CrossFit is where the strongman competitors who are in shape actually go to compete. I'm just messing with Matt. He's a strongman competitor, and I always tease him because he's anti-cardio. He said he's self-confessed anti-cardio. All right, but hey, I gotta tease him while he's here because he's on his lunch break. Anyway, but yeah, so I think it's kind of like, like we say Xerox when we just mean copy. Well, I think that's what CrossFit is, right? And then the other side of it is in terms of branding. It's at the point where it's like it's not even Starbucks, it's McDonald's. Can you imagine McDonald's ever going away? It's part of our culture now.
Yeah,
people who don't even know about exercising know what CrossFit is.
Yep.
And I think a large part of that is because of the CrossFit Games being on television. They're like on ESPN, right? Yep. And part of the reason why powerlifting still exists is because for a while there it was on regular TV. Yep. It was on ABC's Wide World of Sports, right?
Yep. Yeah,
so
I remember that.
Still get some of that cover. Yeah, you still get some of that because I'm a little bit older than you, so it still got some carryover. But it's like, so I remember all that, and I think I agree with you. I think that CrossFit, now that it's part of our culture, it's just here. It's just a thing that may change, but it'll never go away. You know what I mean?
No,
so yeah,
it'll never go away. Nope, it won't.
Yeah,
it's too ingrained.
All right, so Matt says, shots fired. All I said was hello. I always feel so welcome here. I know, man. We're not right. First, we kick y'all out of our country and change flags. And then you come over here and just, I'm sorry, man. He says, not my fault. Cardio sucks and strength training is goated. Hey, okay. You know what? All right. So let's, I don't want to forget this question. This is kind of a little bit off, it's sort of off topic, but it's on topic because it's about your rack construction, right? So this was a general question. Isn't 3x3 too heavy duty? I know it's popular with attachments, but my rack is 2.75 by 2.75. So it's essentially like a 75 millimeter rack. He said it's a weird in-between size and it's solid. So what's the purpose of designing 3x3 racks? So I have an answer, but I would prefer you answer. Like, why did you guys pick 3x3?
I mean,
11 gauge steel.
Guys, racks really at the end of the day, rigs and racks are, when they make steel, it comes out like that. So 2.75 by 2.75 would at least in America, if you were building in America, because I worked at an American manufacturer, that's a custom order. So that actually would probably be more than 3x3, depending on how much you order. And 3x3 is a standard. So everything from, like a road would fit on ours and everything from ours would fit on our road, and so if you keep changing, you might have issues there. But the truth is 2.7 by 2.75 is fine. 3x3, yes, is overbuilt. However, keep in mind, John, remember, we're making for our rigs, a lot of CrossFitters are using, and they're swinging on these things, man. So,
yeah. They're kipping and everything else. Yeah.
When I know you're squatting your 600 pounds, and dropping it on the bar, that doesn't shake the rig as much. But when you're swinging, like doing, muscle ups and stuff, you want 3x3 at least, right?
Yeah, and so I agree with that, and I actually like that insight where you're like, to make it smaller is actually a custom order in a certain way. I think part of that happens because you see, like, especially like some of the, let's be kind and call them budget brands. They like to come out with like the 2x2 and whatnot, and 2x2 14 gauge steel because they're trying to save money. Right. But I think in the long run, first of all, I know it's fine, but I also say, how like I don't really plan on driving 120 miles an hour in my car, but I like to know that my car is always going to have more than I'm going to ask of it. it's capable of more than I'm going to ask of it, right?
Yep.
I don't necessarily need my car to have the torque to drag another car out of the mud, but I want to know that it could if it had to, right? And so I look at these things as something that's going to save my life. Let's just start there at the very basics. I've been lifting weights for over 20 years. I have seen in competition and in training, I've seen barbells drop on people. I've seen barbells hit people in the face. That's the most basic level. The bench press can kill you. I want the power rack that I'm using to stop the bench press from killing me if something goes wrong to be overbuilt, because it's not a matter to me of if it's too much. It's a matter to me of saying, like, what's my health and safety worth? And that's the angle I look at it. I look at it from that angle. How much does this cost? And is it cheaper than dental surgery, than dental reconstruction? I'm saying, dude, look, I'm in my 50s. I think about safety. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But I think it's a good question, too, because I think you also ride the line where you're like, okay, well, at what point are we saying we're just overbuilding something for the sake of cosmetics and aesthetics? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, this is unnecessary. And I agree with that, but that's just where I stand.
Yeah. I mean, John, it's also too, like, what are you using it for, right? Like I said, like, if you're swinging around on it like a CrossFitter,
yeah,
you know, but if you're just dropping, you know, a 200-pound bar on it or whatever, and you want to save some money and get a 2.2 or whatever, like,
yeah.
I can get it. I mean, you know, it's use, but like you said, I'd rather have a little more horsepower in case I need it.
Yeah, I don't like surprises in that way. I do not like unpleasant surprises.
Yeah.
So Rob says Rob has the Vintage Weights YouTube channel, and he does a lot of awesome work with he's like big into the history of lifting, the iron game and stuff. He says, I didn't know anything about this company. I'm finding their origin story and product lineup very interesting. Great guest. So there you go. I told you there's at least one person who didn't know you.
That's why I took this opportunity, because I looked
go.
it up and I saw it on the internet. I'm like, how in the world do I not know about this company?
Heck yeah.
You know, it's got to be an opportunity.
Exactly. So there's like a mutual, and I appreciate you. Like, I saw you sharing it on LinkedIn. And I was like, yeah, man, people are like checking out my profile. So yeah, it's like mutually beneficial. So Home Gym Physique said, before I purchased my rack, he's in the UK, by the way.
Okay.
So just purchased my rack. I looked into buying a power rack from Watson.
Yep.
Their racks were exceptionally overbuilt and weighed a ton. So I never purchased as I train in my living room in my house. So I can definitely see that, because like if I've got something in my living room, I kind of want it to look like furniture most of the time. You know, maybe an hour and a half, hour to 2 hours a day, it can look like a workout station. But most of the time I want it to look like furniture. You know what I mean? So
yep.
I get that. And I think that that's where you find like the excuse me, the pollen down here is horrible. Like my cars are yellow right now. They're completely yellow. But I'm trying to think of like the squat stands, because you can kind of like put it behind something. That might be something that you could look into. But I would say like you're also not manufacturing for necessarily like a small segment of population. I would say that most of the people, especially in the United States, who are going to be home gym owners are going to be buying stuff for a garage, a basement, something like that. And so they've got the room for a bigger, in my opinion, safer rack. There's that. But to be honest with you, even if I had my rack in my living room for whatever reason, I said I don't want to die in the living room either. So there's that. You know, I'm not choosy about where I don't die. I don't want to die anywhere. Let's try that. You know, that's just how I feel. I feel like I'm just going at Home Gym Gains all day today, because we've been having a lively exchange. I appreciated your insights though. So let's move on to the next thing. I said because this may be hard. If I told you like a year ago that CrossFit being sold wouldn't be the biggest fitness news item related to the fitness industry, it'd be like, really? Like, what's going to be bigger than that? Well, guess what? We're hearing a lot about tariffs, and we're hearing so much about tariffs that now people who didn't know anything about tariffs are now becoming financial experts Like I see all of them on Facebook, and as I quickly just scroll through and get out of there, and there's a varying degree of impact on us as consumers because that depends on the impact of the tariffs on the businesses we patronize. So let's start with Xpodium. You guys are a global company.
Yep.
How have you been affected by the most recent tariffs, especially since you've got a finance background? You're like you're probably the most perfect person to talk about this since I had Peter Keller on. So I'm going to give you the big layout because I want to hear, how have you guys been affected by tariffs?
Okay. So I'm going to start and say I did some research for you yesterday, and I called about – I spent 3 or 4 hours on the phone. I did it for myself too. I'm not going to lie to you. But I called some huge players in the distribution game of physical therapy, which buys a lot of home gym equipment, believe it or not. That would be an interesting thing to talk about at some point. And the fitness world, the distributors over there that sell to both commercial gyms and, home players and stuff. So, because I'm trying to figure out what everyone else is doing, because luckily for me, I'm launching my equipment website at the end of this month. So these 2 huge tariffs that were put into place, my only effect from them is I lost some money on some deals that I made earlier because my equipment's on the water and I already paid for it and sold it at a certain price. But moving forward with these tariffs, here's what's going on here. Okay. Basically, they are trying to, I think, even out the world, right? And if you go around the world, there's all sorts of different tariffs against the United States, and the United States has tariffs, and they're trying to even it out. So the effect of this, though, I'm not going to get into, I told you no politics here. I'm just going to tell you guys the effect of this.
Please, no. Okay? Thank you.
The effect of this, absolutely, the prices are going to go up. I have tried Enron accounting. I've tried anything I can do to figure this out, and I have to raise my prices. I have to do it. There's nothing I can do, and I have to raise them significantly. Currently, on fitness equipment in the United States, there is a 54% tax. So if I pay $1,000 for that piece of equipment, I actually pay $540, right? Then I have to ship it here, right? So basically the effect is everything's going to go up in price. Now, hold on though. This is what no one's talking about. Everyone's complaining about that, right? Here's the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin is there's a thing called Section 321. Are you familiar with that, John?
No, I am not, but I feel like I'm about to be familiar. Let's go.
You're going to be familiar, and everybody who wants to get educated on this, this is the big thing here. Section 321 was put into place to allow small packages of $799 or less to go into the country free of tax and any going through customs and all that horse stuff. And so what was happening is you get all these companies, like you mentioned, kind of lower class fitness companies masquerading as American fitness companies, selling their product directly from overseas. And they'll sell you a $2,000 rig and just say on their sheet it's $790 a metal, whatever, and just lie and get it in the country. So we don't really know the number, but there could have been trillions of dollars of stuff coming in, of lost revenue and all that into this market, billions, whatever, But, and now that's stopped. He put a stop to that. So that right there, what it's going to do is it's going to be, I think, better for the overall equipment market here because it's going to take out the really low grade bad stuff that you really shouldn't be buying. Okay. So so that's a good thing, but it's going to raise, again, that's also going to cut the supply of product. So like the prices are going to go up. I'm estimating prices to go up 40%.
Okay. So let's walk back a little bit. You said, I'm trying to remember, did you say you have had to increase prices, or that you know that they are going to go up?
I haven't had to increase them because my website launches in 3 weeks. So I've luckily been able to keep to myself.
All
but
right.
while I'm waiting for my website to be built, I've done probably $150,000 of deals. And like, I got screwed because I did them at this price. And now this is my price.
I got you. Yeah.
You know, but that's a short-term bump. You know, but yeah, this is going to raise price. There's no other way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah, sure. I get it. Well, I was just asking that because I wanted to know, like, well, what's been the response from consumers when they see the prices go up? But kind of to your benefit is the website launches and the price is where it is, as opposed. So technically, you could launch and say, you know how like you do the thing where it's the people do this on Amazon all the time, or brands do this on Amazon all the time, where they plan to sell something for $50, so they launch it and they say that it's 75.
Yeah.
So they can slash the price, and it's right back where it was going to be anyway. So I'm certainly not advising you to do that.
I'm not doing that because I have distributors, and distributors don't like that, and I protect my distributors, and so
okay. So yeah, I'm saying so. Like you would. My point is that when you launch your website, the price is going to be what people see it as because it'd be their first time seeing the price. You know, it'd be their first. They see the rig, first time seeing the rig. They're not going to look at it and say, "Oh, well, why did the price go up?" They're going to just judge your rig compared to, or your rack compared to something else that's in the same tier that they are already familiar with. Like, does this cost more than Rep? Does this cost more than Rogue? Oh, okay. And if so, well, what does it have that makes it more expensive? What is it missing that makes it less expensive? I think that's what's going to happen.
But John, if you're a home game, this is important for all you guys buying fitness equipment in the next 3-4 months. I think prices overall are going to have to go up 30 or 40% based on this last tariff. That's my estimations. I'm pretty good at math. Assume I'm sort of correct. However, nobody's going to do it right away. You're not going to do it right away. Like, I've already tested my pricing in the market. I have really good pricing. I'm going to raise mine from that probably about 8%. And then at the end of the year, so I'm going to absorb
stair step.
Yeah. Now, some other people might raise it right away. Some people might be smart and go, you know what? I've got 9 months of inventory and I'm going to keep my prices the same and put other people out of business. There's going to be crazy stuff like that. This is going to be like the coronavirus pandemic, which I was a sourcing manager during and did the PPE and all that. It was crazy. That's what this is going to be like. And you know who also agreed with me on that is a guy named Chuck Conto, who's the sourcing manager for an incredible company named Fabrication Enterprises that I spoke with yesterday. He agreed. He's like, Matt, you've already seen this, so you should be good. But so be careful buying because prices are going to be all over.
So so first of all, Home Gym Physique has already decided no more gym equipment for him. I feel like it's too early to tell. All right. It just has to be shiny enough. All right. He says, I have a question. Will the increased prices of gym equipment ever come down again, or will prices continue to rise in years to come? So my answer, and then I wanted you to get your responses. As a general rule, we pay more for bread and milk than we did 30 years ago because prices tend to go up. Because, I mean, there's a ripple effect. So the cost of one thing goes up. So then employees start going, employees start going to their employer and saying, hey, I need more money because the price of bread and milk just went up. I need more money. So the boss is like, okay, sure. I raised your cost. Well, where am I going to get that extra money from? That's right, the customer. So now the price of widgets at that company goes up. And so all prices kind of go. So cost of living raises actually indirectly cause prices to go up. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's just something that you have to realize is part of life. At the same time, I think that there's also such a thing as market pressure, because all it takes is one company to say, all right, you know, we're going to cut our prices because we want to take it. Maybe we'll absorb a little less profit. We've got a good cushion. We'll cut prices a little bit just so we can kind of undercut our competitors. And then the competitors like, well, hold on now. We'll have a sale too. So you might see that as well. What's your take on it from your angle?
Look, number one, as a student of finance for my whole life, prices don't go down, they go up, just like you said, okay? Now, there are interims, you know, when they go up, they do go like that, and now we're having this huge spike that's truthfully, at the end of the day, being caused by the government. This is a man-made thing, right? It's a tariff, it's a tax.
Right.
So this is something that's not normal, okay? But I will tell you this, in my personal point of view, I don't know if all you know this, over 90% of fitness equipment is made in an area over in Asia, in one small area, that comes into the United States. Over 90%. Okay? Do you know what percent of fitness equipment is made in the United States, John?
No idea.
3.
Oh, wow.
3%. Okay.
Is that because of manufacturing cost? Well, it's got to be because of manufacturing cost.
So 3%. Okay, just think of these numbers. Okay. Let's say the government's point of this is to get fitness equipment manufactured in the United States. Okay. Let's say that's their goal. Okay. If we were to double the manufacturing of fitness and equipment in the United States, how long do you think that would take, John?
It's going to be a couple of years, I would say.
Okay. I agree. I've been in manufacturing. I've worked for an American manufacturer. I agree. I'd say it'd take about 2 years. So now we're going from 3.
You got to train people. You got to, okay. But go ahead.
No, we're not even going to get into it. Let's just say 2 years. Trust me. It's about that. So now, okay, we've got 6% of the fitness equipment after 2 years and taxing the hell out of everyone in the country. Okay. And now we've got 85% instead of 74% of people in this country are obese because we can't get any damn fitness equipment.
Right. Yeah.
You see where I'm going? So I think our government's going to wise up and go, in certain sectors like fitness, there's no way we can even make a dent in the production in the United States in 5 years. So what's the point of crushing people on the price right now? Makes no sense, especially when it's for their own damn good.
So
does that make sense to you, or am I crazy?
Yeah, no, because it actually goes it actually is apropos because there are other questions from coincidentally people from Eric, who is in manufacturing, and then Matt, who is in the UK. So both their questions, I think I'm going to go straight to them. I see what you said about the false pricing in the UK being illegal. So he was saying basically what I just said about, you bump up the cost, like on Amazon or something or whatever. I just know it happens on Amazon. I see it happen enough. And then that company, those brands get kicked off Amazon, but just like that, they'll rebrand and come right back. So whatever. But what I wanted to get to is Eric's question. He's in manufacturing. He said, question, do you think the retaliatory tariffs will cause other countries to lower their tariffs on us, which in turn will cause us to lower our tariffs again?
It's already working. So, like, again, all politics aside, because there's a lot of that going in this. It is working. It is working. But the reality is, I don't really think the United States can operate equally with everyone around the world forever. Because it's like, you think Mongolia can compete with us, and
right.
So I don't know. That's a tough question. I would say it's going to probably even the playing field a little bit. But, again, the actual long-term effect of it, I think it's just going to raise prices. I think that's a tough question,
Yeah. I mean, so this is something that, Rob, if you're still watching, I want you to chime in on this. If you look at the cost, even if you adjust for inflation, I would say that a barbell costs less money in general to make 1970 than it does now. Just a barbell. And that's it's a little bit more complex piece of gear than people think, but still it's fairly, doesn't have moving parts, not really. It's a fairly simple piece of equipment, right? It still costs more to make today, even adjusted for inflation, than it did back in 1970. Certainly more than it did back in 1945, right?
Mhm.
When sleeves didn't revolve and men were strong. So, well, I mean that for real. It's like you didn't have a choice. It's like everything's just hard.
Come
So,
on, man. I need that spin. I need it.
it's like, hey, it's like you think about it. So, like, this is a tangent, but that's why people are here. Like in the Olympics, they couldn't even bounce the bar off of their hip to do the clean back then. Like the bar couldn't touch your body. So you just had to be, that's why their shoulders, if you look at like old pictures of Olympic lifters, why their shoulders look like that, because you had zero, you couldn't use the bar to build any, to do any, to get any momentum to help you get the bar into the clean position. So anyway, the front rack position. All right, but let's move on. So Matt said, being outside the USA, seeing Trump hit everyone with tariff charges is making a lot of countries tariff the USA back unless a trade agreement has been discussed. So prices ever are going up. But I like what he said, unless a trade agreement has been discussed. So if it's bringing people to the table, I'm fine with that, because ultimately, I mean, I like getting a new phone, and I know they're not made here in America. So I'm like, let's just work it out. You know, it'll rubber tires come from the country where I was born, and hey, let's make. I saw what happened during the Civil War in Liberia when people couldn't get tires, they couldn't get rubber for tires. So then Firestone, for example, had to start using recycled rubber, and that's remember when all the Firestone tires were blowing out. That was during the Civil War in Liberia. It's because of partially the access to rubber was interrupted by the Civil War. So international trade is not something I'm against. There are benefits to it. But I also understand a desire to make things a little bit more equitable for the American worker. So Eric says, about evening the playing field, how would it benefit us as a consumer? I know it could benefit us as manufacturing, as we outsource to India, and now they have a 26% tariff. So how do you think, and this is kind of a little bit outside the scope of what we're going to talk about, but I think it's interesting. How do you think tariffs could benefit the consumer? You already mentioned one effect, because I was paying attention. You said it'll get rid of some of the equipment that shouldn't be here anyway.
Good.
All right, so there's that. So is that like what you say will be the major potential benefit?
I think
the consumer.
I think really that's going to be the only major benefit, because I went to business school and I've read business economic theory and all that, and it's just the way to get the cheapest prices for the consumer is 110% free economics. Let anyone sell for whatever they want. That's common sense, right? However, in the United States, we decided that doing things like that for grain, corn, wheat, the government would support a price, because we don't want farmers going in and out of business. Right. So with that being said, the fluctuation of pricing and stuff might get better in the long run from these tariffs and stuff. But seriously, here's the thing. I really believe this is what I call gun to the head politics, where Donald Trump is putting a gun to the head of these countries and going, yes or no. And you think if a country over there is importing here and all of a sudden they get a 30% tariff, they're out of business. So they're going to have to react quick. So I really believe, John, this might be quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope. But other than that, I don't see any benefit for us as consumers.
All right. While I will continue to take questions from the chat about tariffs, if you guys want to know more about it. If you're watching on replay, and you have tariff questions, what I encourage you to do is to hit Matt up. Don't put your tariff questions on the Xpodium Instagram, but go to LinkedIn. Look up Matthew Burruss on LinkedIn, and if you have questions, I'm sure that Matt will be happy to answer those questions there. Looks like Kevin just WhatsApped me back. He said, just got home watching now. Okay, so Kevin, if you're watching now, I wanted to, by the time you catch it, I don't know if you're watching from back or if you're watching live, like caught up. So if you're watching in real time, just in case, I'm going to tell you that Xpodium, Matt said that they have a distributor in Japan, so that will serve you where you are in Japan.
Yep.
Do you know the name of the distributor? And if not, where could he go to find out the distributor for Japan?
He can email me right after, and I'll send you all the information.
Okay. All right. So
they got Instagram over there. They do everything. They've got, they're rocking and rolling in Japan.
All right. So Kevin, hit me up and I will give you Matt's email information. And that way he can put you in contact with the distributor in Japan, because I told him about your situation. And I think, get you hooked up as far as a source for more, give you some better, a wider range of options for equipment. All right. So that's but anyway, so if anybody has any tariff questions, would you say like just hit you up on like LinkedIn or something?
Yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn. And again, this tariff thing too is ongoing. So like I can only regurgitate what I hear from smart people and what I hear from the news and what I'm reading. And it's
There's a lot.
Now it might be different.
Dude, heck yeah. Heck, tomorrow it might be different. But okay. But let's I wanted to keep it moving. So I want to talk about what you guys do with athletes, because, and I'll say, so this is a home gym audience. But at the same time, we demand commercial grade, right? Because I think one other thing, and this kind of goes back to what Home Gym Games was saying. Home Gym Physique, sorry, it's two different people. Home Gym Physique was saying, why do you need something overbuilt? The other thing I think about is, you know how like you can find old York barbells in at a yard sale that somebody dragged out the barn, cleaned it up, and it still works just fine.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. That's because they weren't built like, okay, well, let's do the bare minimum. They're overbuilt. And I think that's another positive outcome I look for. If I buy something, I've got 2 grandkids. At some point, my grandkids, my grandson or my granddaughter may decide they want to start working out. I want to be able to say, oh, well, you can just use my old stuff. You can come over and train with me. And it's still good enough. So she's 2. My granddaughter's 2, right? So when she's 16, I don't want my equipment to be past its shelf life and not safe for her to use. I want to be able to pass it on to her and have it. She said, you know what? When she's a grandmother, I want her to be able to say to her grandson or granddaughter, hey, if you want to use this, you can come over and use my old stuff. I'll just give it to you. You want a home gym? Here you go. That's kind of how I look at it. It's like I want to be able to pass the stuff on to my grandkids. So having said that, while we do recognize that there are differences in what the two populations between a public gym and especially something that's got like a bunch of CrossFitters going through there every day versus something that's going to be in my house and it's just going to be used by me and my family. I know that there's certain things that are different, but how do you support athletes who split their training time? So they go to a box part of the week and they train at home part of the week or part of the month or whatever. Like, how do you guys assist them so that they're training on equipment that's familiar, especially if they're competitive?
Very simply, it's kind of just like Rogue, where it's the same equipment. I mean, when in our gym here, when you see what I build here, it's going to be super incredible. If you go, hey, Matt, I want that, but I have a 350 square foot room. No problem. You just get a smaller rig. We customize exactly. Tell me exactly what size you want. So every single thing that you train with, balls, kettlebells, it's all the same. You know what I mean? And it's the same stuff in our gym because CrossFitters, remember, they're all working out a lot at home. So they're buying this stuff at home too, as a group and using the same stuff in the gym. See, the equipment's the same. And then we also, my partner Spencer is going to be coming out with, he already does some, but on our website, we'll have programming too and stuff. So at-home users can just jump on. And if you've bought equipment from us, you get the programming and check it out. And my partner's awesome, dude. You should meet him. I mean, he's like just a great dude. A lot younger than me too. But he is a technical lifter. You should see how strong this kid is. It is insane. But that's how we're supporting him. It's the same thing.
Just make the same equipment. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Let
think.
me ask you something. Can I ask you something? So you guys really want commercial equipment at home, right? That's your thing.
Yeah.
What about like?
Remember the dental surgery part of the show?
Yeah.
Remember that? Okay. Yeah.
No, I get it. But so where I'm from, like in the distribution world of equipment, there's home gym equipment, light commercial, and then commercial. Light commercial, like I put into like physical therapy offices and stuff, because they're just not lifting the weight and stuff. And they're, so you guys only do commercial, no light commercial or anything? No.
So that's actually an excellent question. And it kind of has a different, it's going to be a little bit more involved answer. So when I was at HFA, I could tell the companies that were there from a home gym background.
Yeah.
They brought the overbuilt stuff. They had like, yeah.
Oh, I should have seen it. I wish I ran into you, man.
Oh man, that's good. Yeah, shoot. I would say, to be honest with you, I think I've got more HFA coverage. Well, I know I have more HFA coverage than every other home gym creator.
Nice.
But I probably have a lot more than some of the other mainstream media outlets as well, because I went around. I did dedicated booth tours. My wife and I went around.
Oh wait, I saw that. I'm like, I did. You did.
Yeah. I beat places, man. I beat places. But the point I'm making is like the main difference between commercial and home gym is that in a home gym, we are more apt to want something that's going to have attachments so you can focus everything on the rack. In a public gym, you don't want that, because that causes a log jam. Everybody's going to be at this one spot. You want to spread them out so that they can filter through, right? And then it depends on what sort of gym it is. If it's a CrossFit box, you're not going to have all the equipment, like the machines and stuff. But if it's like just a general global gym or whatever, you're going to have like the squat rack, then the leg press station, then the leg extension machine, not a leg extension, leg curl, leg extension, then the leg curl, because you want people, again, you don't want traffic jams.
Right.
You want people to use it and move. Use it and move, right? In a home gym, because space is at a premium for a lot of us, we want things that attach to the rack a lot of times. We want pieces of equipment that do multiple things. But as far as durability, which is what I think of when I think light commercial, I'm like, oh, so this is something I could potentially break. Okay. I don't want that, because what people who are looking at the commercial side is, oh yeah, well, you just at home and it's just you there, right? Yeah. I don't want to use anything that might break, and then my 9-year-old has to call 911 and watch daddy writhing in pain while she waits for the ambulance to come. Mm-hmm. All right. I know, and I'm not the strongest guy, I know, but I'm the strongest guy a lot of people know. I say that all the time because it's true. It's just true.
Awesome.
All right. And a lot of racks that I get in that are called light commercial or whatever, or residential, quite frankly, I'm afraid to lift on them because I don't feel like they're strong enough. So like, just for reference, all right. So like my bench is about 380. Okay. So I want
mine's 390. So
oh, I believe you. I believe you. That's no sleep. And imagine if you actually got some sleep the night before. But I'm saying it's like, so I want a rack that can handle that. I want every link in the chain, the J hooks, the bolts, the shear force on the bolts has to be able to handle that, because so physics, if I drop the bar, the weight's gonna roughly double as it's falling because of terminal velocity, right? So it's not gonna hit me with 380. It's gonna hit me with more than that. I would prefer not to experience that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. I was showing my guy, Jaisyn Mike, who is he's a world champion in the IPF. He trains at home. There's several people who are world champions who train at home. Heck, Brian Shaw has a home gym. World's strongest man, former world's strongest man, multiple time. World's strongest man. He's got a home gym. And if you ever want to look at something hilarious, look at his visit to Planet Fitness, where he couldn't even fit in the equipment, right? All right. But I'm saying Jaisyn casually is benching 600 pounds.
Very casually.
And I mean literally, because he did it one day, just to prove a point. He did it for a month where he benched 600 pounds every day in his home gym. My guy Perry Ellis, I just saw him do 700 pounds for a double in his garage. Dennis Cornelius. Well, you can't filter out like, oh, well, Dennis wouldn't buy that. He'd buy this, right? Because when I was talking to Phil Patty, I'm sure you know Phil Patty. Phil Patty with American Barbell. I was talking to him. He said it's kind of like he says like a no smoking section. You can't say, well, I'm making this thing is like commercial and it's never going to show up in a gym, because what happens if the gym owner cuts corners?
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, granted, it's his lawsuit to bear potentially, but yeah, I'm just going to circle all the way back around and say, yes, we want 3x3, 11 gauge steel. Then if you want to start a fight, let's go with 5/8 versus 1-inch holes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will say and I asked that because I like to educate myself, but at the end of the day, you guys are lifting the most weight, and like if there's anybody who needs commercial, it's you, right?
Yeah. So like we call it commercial. And let me say, so like when I first started my home gym, I didn't even look at that stuff. I was like, oh, that infomercial junk, I don't want it. I mean, I wasn't as strong, and I still wasn't as strong then. I was in the Marine Corps though, and so I was like, my fitness was part of my job. But I was like, but I still was I was part of the group that was getting like used power racks from a high school that was upgrading or something like that, right? So we used to say commercial grade. Well, now we don't say that. We just say, okay, like give me the specs.
Right. Yeah.
3x3, so like my rack now is not a true 3x3. It's like a 75 millimeter by 75 millimeter, but it's the same general thing. And 11 gauge steel though. 12 gauge steel is the bare minimum. But yeah, 3x3 rack, because we want it to be able to handle it, handle whatever.
I like to look on, like when I look at racks and stuff, because I've sold so much of equipment and I know more about equipment than I do about like working out, just because I know what to look for and
sure.
I've sold so much of it. And like I look at like with racks, the first thing I look for is show me your J hooks. Let me see your J hooks. Because let me tell you something. There is no good rack out there with junk J hooks. And guess what fails the most? Even if you have a 2.75 by 2.75, rarely is that going to fail. It's going to be the J hook. So look. That's the first thing I looked at on this brand is Xpodium. I go, show me the J. And I went up to Scott Panchik's gym right up the street from here. He's got $100,000 of Xpodium equipment. And I grabbed the J hook and I looked at it and I go, damn, this is a good J hook. This is solid. I'll pull a car with this, and because those are the details, you know what I mean? That fail, I've found, not the big pieces of steel. Like it's J hooks, right?
Yeah. So hang on a second. I'm gonna assume you haven't seen this. So this is something. First of all, everybody's putting in their bench numbers now, right? So Matt said, he said, and it's in kilograms. I'm like, okay, sure, I got you. Yeah. So I'm gonna pull up something from my guy Adrian Gluck. And since you're not like really in the home gym space, you may not know who that is. But if you do, he's a good. He and his wife Winnie are awesome people.
Yeah. By the way, I am in the home gym space. I'm more in it now than I was, but now this is very home gym now.
So are you familiar with Gluck? With Gluck's gym? Okay, all right. So I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but
I have not.
So this is what we don't want to have happen, and this is what we think about. All right.
Go.
So
this is gonna be good.
So the rack was supposed to be able to hold 1,000 pounds. All right. And see that?
Was that on J? What?
No, it was on safety straps. It was on safety straps. The rack folded.
It did. That's crazy.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. It's like the rack folded. And you just like, yeah, it wasn't even that the J hooks failed, although I agree with you. Usually that will fail. The rack folded.
Yeah, I saw it went like.
Now imagine, now imagine you're squatting, the bar falls off your back for whatever reason, and you're in there when the rack folds.
What was that? How big were those? What was that steel, and what was the size of that? I'm just curious.
So it's one of those. He got it off of Amazon. So exactly he's got like the full video. And let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find it. So yeah, Yeah. Okay. So I'll screen share this. I'll pull this up here so it's on YouTube. All right, and then I'm gonna screen share this right now, just so you can see it, because I think a lot of times, like it helps to see like what we think about, right? So this is it. So this is how the bar's bent, but look at the rack. Like can you see that?
I've never seen that. That looks like look how thin are those bars? Those aren't 3x3.
No, so no, they're not. So that's the point I'm making, right? It was the balance from Power Cage, but the point is because you asked me,
like that's not even that steel is okay. I mean that's not
right.
even like
yeah,
know,
but
like,
so then you saying why do we want 3x3 versus some of the other? We're like, okay, and there's no guarantee that the steel isn't trash steel.
Right.
So yeah, we want 3x3 11 gauge steel.
Okay, I got you now.
Yeah. So yeah, and so and that's just one example of thing. I mean, I've seen, like I said, I've been lifting weights since 1993. So I've seen some crazy stuff happen, right? Both in public gyms and not. I will say, excuse me, the home gym consumer though tends to be also, we're a little bit more nitpicky when it comes to things like, well, what kind of knurling is it? Is it, that kind of stuff, like what are the we're looking for, like, is it clear code? Like we like aesthetics too, because I mean this thing's gonna be in our house.
Yeah.
This is like a reflection on me, so yeah, it's like my lawn. My grass has got to look good, right? Because people like make judgment calls on my value as a person based upon how my grass looks.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So there's that. I know we're going a little bit over time, but I wanted to show you that video because I think it's instructive. And it went to your question. But I do want to make sure that we have this. It said, did you know about HomeGymCon?
Okay, we just talked about that yesterday. I am going down there with Spencer and our finance partner.
As attendees?
As attendees. We did not sign. Next year we're gonna have a booth. We didn't know how far we'd be with our equipment website, so I didn't.
Sure. Yeah.
We will be there. So anybody who wants to meet, we'll be walking around, hanging out.
Heck yeah!
Talk to me, for sure. We're going down. I'm going down
definitely.
The day before just to hang out. So
I want to get so this will actually be cool because I've never been able to do this, but I want to get like a reaction from you guys, like when you see it. Like I'll be wandering around. I'll just hit you up and say, hey man, I want to come over and do a quick video with you and just say like, what's your reaction to seeing this? Especially since you've been to HFA, you've been to other trade shows, and HomeGymCon is nothing like them. Okay, having been to HFA,
that's where I'm going because I saw the growth of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm like, what am I doing? Not going? You know what I mean?
And the personality of the attendees is different. So it's going to be, oh yeah. So I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm just going to let you see it because I want to get you like your reactions. But I think it's definitely worth it. Having gone. I've been
more serious like lifters and stuff and like.
So I just said I wouldn't spoil it. You see, I'll see how he's trying to tease some info out. No, what I'm gonna say is like, so you have, just for example, like the average member of a gym has no idea, for example, that there's such a thing as a woman's bar. The average gym goer. They don't know that there's such a thing as a women's bar and that women's bars have a smaller diameter. Most people who have been in a home gym for a significant period of time not only know what women's bars are, they have opinions about the different ones. They're familiar with all that kind of stuff. They're more likely to ask you about the knurling. Some of the questions that you see in the live chat here, you'll get those from people up front, like in person. So as you're walking through, just hearing the conversations, the things people are asking at different booths, it's going to be far different from what you experience at HFA. I've also been to the Perform Better seminar in the past, and I've never heard questions like this at those. So yeah, I think it'll be a great experience for you. I think you'll enjoy it. And so Carp said ATX, his follow-up is that ATX made a big splash, and you guys could do a big splash too in 2026.
Maybe I'll call him and see if I can figure out how to, because I'm driving down, I'm in Ohio, so I'm driving down there. Maybe I can figure out how to get a booth going. I've done so many.
I mean, you wouldn't be the first company. So like Peter from Fringe Sport didn't do a booth his first year. He went there and just looked around.
Yeah,
because you kind of get the lay of the land.
I
You
like
know,
to
like what we're
feel,
sponsored.
yeah.
Can see what's going on. So Matt says home gym athletes are the gym equipment nerds of fitness. That's definitely true.
I think though, John, it's also because if you think about it, like the home gym people are buying this stuff, putting it in their house with their own money. So like,
yeah,
I can see why. Like when I buy stuff for my own house, I ask a couple more questions. You know?
Heck yeah, it's like, well, what's this going to look like? Is it we can go down rabbit holes about the stuff that we want versus this and all that. Yeah. So you're going to get about 100 people who are like that in the same room.
Yeah, so that's why I want to have my stainless steel rigs there, because for home, people like stainless steel.
Oh, yeah, it's going to look nice. Yeah.
They'll see them and be like, I want that, you know?
Heck yeah. All right, so I want to ask you 2 more questions. I don't want to let you go with it. What keeps you going in terms of what you do? What keeps you going? You get setbacks like the tariffs. You deal with difficult customers. Any number of discouraging or frustrating things that you deal with on daily basis. What keeps you going getting up and going to work excited to be there?
What I call my 3-year goal. So I have a 3-year goal always ahead of what I'm trying to do. Some people have 1-year goals. Some people you hear have 10-year goals. That's it. I think 3 years is the perfect amount of time to know exactly where you want to be and the steps that you have to take each day, to get there. And, one thing I saw on LinkedIn the other day, which really caught my eye, which is, it was something like this. It said, if I followed you around the entire day, would I think that you're going to hit the goals that you're trying to hit? And basically that means is, are you doing the same things over day to repeat yourself to get there? And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And my goal is what's doing it. And I want to be, one of the biggest equipment and accessory dealers in USA and Canada and South America. And I think I got the team behind me. So if I do those steps every single day over and over and over, I think I'll get there. And that's what keeps me going,
All right. Well, so Jake, Garage Gym Radio is actually the developer, organizer, creator of HomeGymCon. And he says you can sign up all month, by the way. He said he loves to hear it. So he's excited to see you there. So let's help you towards your goal of world domination. How can people keep up with Xpodium, and if they want to shop for your products? I know you said that website is out. It's going to be the same website it is now, right?
Nope, same website.
Add to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and give the details.
Huge equipment website as well. So it'll just be an expansion. I paid a lot of money to make this a very easy to use website. It's going to be really user friendly. So I'm pretty excited. Okay,
so let everybody know how they can follow you guys, keep up with what you have going on, your website address, Instagram, anywhere that you want people to encounter you.
Yep, it's xpodiumusa.com. Look Spencer Panchik up on Instagram, Xpodium USA up on Instagram, Facebook. We're pretty easy to find there now. But whether you like it or not, I'm going to start deploying some advertising, so you're going to see Xpodium. It's going to come up on your phone.
you have been warned. All right.
I know.
That's awesome. Hey, no, man, dude, I really appreciate you being here. This was a lot of fun. I, for one, learned a lot of stuff that I had no idea about. And that's why I love conversations like this, because I hope it was beneficial for you as well to give you a window into our world.
Yeah.
But because this was, quite frankly, it was awesome for me to not only see your perspective, but also to see like where you're going in terms of based upon where you want to be, what you're doing to get there. And this is, so this is great. I appreciate you being here, man. And if you want to come back on anytime, in fact, if you want to come on at HomeGymCon, so I was going to interview you. If you'd like to be on my live show at HomeGymCon, you're completely welcome, man. We can make that happen.
Yeah, let's definitely do that. I want you to meet my partner, Spencer. Awesome dude. You'll love him. Just great guy. He's going to be down there.
Sure.
So let's do that. And I want to show you when we build the Area 52 gym here. It's going to be.
Where are you guys based? I forgot to.
We are based in a town called Sugar Falls, Ohio.
Ohio. Okay. That's not too bad.
20 miles east of Cleveland. And
Okay.
we have a really sick headquarter gym here. And then we use my farm to do our tactical fitness on. So we got kind of a pretty
Oh,
sick
wow. Okay.
fitness setup up here. Yeah.
You're like, what's his name that created the Spartan race? It's like people go
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
Spartan
yeah.
and just have a suffering festival. Nice.
That's
All
right.
right.
Hey, are you in Georgia?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
I am just below. So the town you probably would know is Cartersville. Cartersville above Marietta. So I'm between Cartersville and Marietta.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
about 45 minutes away from Atlanta on a good
Okay.
a good traffic day.
I just came from St. Simon's Island, so I saw.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's living a good life. So that's about 6.5 hours away from me.
Is it really that far?
Georgia's huge, man.
It is
Georgia's
yeah.
Georgia's not as big as Texas. Nothing's that big, but it's a much bigger state than people think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of small back roads too where you can't go. Like in Texas, you can drive 100 miles an hour. In Georgia, you might drive 100 miles an hour, but the speed limit says not to. So there's that because the roads are narrower and all that.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, my man. I'm gonna let you get on started with the rest of your day, and I appreciate you being here. Like I said, I'll keep on pushing people towards you. If you have anything that you ever want to put out, then okay. See that I was about to let you go. That's why I was gonna let you go because I didn't want you to get trapped. So here we go. Why would you design a rack to fit other companies' attachments? Why not design a unique rack which users can only buy attachments for your company? So basically similar to Iron Master. I have my opinion about that, but I'd rather you answer it.
I'll tell you exactly why. Because as a consumer, it pisses me off that there's 25 brands, and over the years I've tried different things and they don't fit on each other, and it's not fair. That's not fair to me. And like, I don't need you to give me 100% of your business. You know, you can buy my attachments or you can buy my rigs, or if you want to give it all to me, that's great. But like, I want you to be able to use the attachments that you bought on the main big companies. I'm not going to mention whatever, and they should fit on ours just fine. If they did something weird, it might not, but like, I think that's fair to the consumer. That's why.
100% the answer. I mean, just think about it from a car standpoint. How'd you like it if your car only ran on one type of gas
or one type of tire?
Yeah. It's like, so yeah. All right. Okay. Now I'm gonna let you get out of here because if I don't, they will keep asking you questions, man. Have a great day, Matt. Thank you so much for being here, my man.
Appreciate it, John. Take care, brother.
All right, man. Later. All right. So that was Matt Burruss, who is with Xpodium USA. I'm really excited about the fact that they're going to be expanding what they're doing here in the United States, going into equipment and everything else. So I think that's been really cool. I really appreciate Matt coming on here to kind of introduce himself to the home gym community in a bigger way, and I hope to see him on on other channels and whatever going forward. So, and I look forward to meeting him at HomeGymCon in person as well. Speaking of Iron Master, by the way, they're supposed to be Home and Physique. We were supposed to have them on actually today, but there was I screwed up the scheduling, and so we're gonna have to reschedule. They're going to 5-0 next week, but we're tentatively penciling them in for the 18th. So get your Iron Master questions ready because Iron Master is gonna be on here on the 18th of April if everything goes according to plan. All right, so now we've arrived at the part of the show that you guys control. First of all, shout out to the West Coast. Thank you guys for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. We were just talking to Matthew Burruss from Xpodium USA. Xpodium is a company that designs fitness products for athletes who basically are into CrossFit and CrossFit style training and tactical games training. And they're trying to have a bigger footprint in the home gym equipment industry. But now we are going to do the part of the show that I said is going to be controlled by you, and that is you pick the topic. So 2 weeks ago, what happened, and this is how it's going to work today, is I don't even remember who it was. My apologies, but somebody brought up dialed motion leg extension leg curl. I had not heard about it up to that point. So I found out about it in real time because someone brought it up. So if you guys have a topic, some piece of equipment that you would like to discuss, We're not going to be on here for all day, but I do want to give you guys opportunity to create a topic if you guys want to talk about that. If not, then I'll just tell you what's coming up next week, and we'll get out of here. I'll move on. I'll take my dog for a walk. So your time starts now. If you guys want to, oh, dude, that is so. Eric said Xpodium needs to link up with Ashley Hromiak. That is exactly what I was thinking, and I plan to introduce her to them at HomeGymCon because I think it's such a natural fit. Home Gym Physique. Have you thought about doing live gym training streams? I have thought about it, but to be honest with you, they don't seem interesting to me. I think it's a good way to ruin a good gym session. It's a good way to ruin a good training session, and it's not necessarily going to be interesting to the people who are watching. So I don't watch gym training sessions. So I do have a bias there. And for me, stopping my workout to check my phone or whatever to see what people said in the live chat would not be, like I said, it would be a great way to ruin a good training session. So I thought about it. I considered it. And if you guys really want it, then I'd be happy to do it. And I'd say this, if I were to do it, it would probably be a members only thing. So people who are paid channel members, they pay the 99 cents a month. I would probably do it there. Mostly because if you are paying out of your pocket to support the channel, as opposed to, it's like you're going above and beyond watching. I mean, I appreciate people who watch, but if you're watching and you're paying, you know, I have to give you a little bit extra. And so it would probably be something like that. Matt says, I run my sessions on TikTok. Strongman means I get decent rest times to chat. Yeah, it's not even the rest time. It's more mentally disconnecting from the workout to answer questions. Because, I mean, you never know what somebody's going to ask you, right? So what happens if I go down one of these rabbit holes and I forget, oh, I'm supposed to go do a set? The way that I train, I compete. Now, if I compete, I'm most likely to compete in powerlifting. And that has to do a lot with being kind of dialed in with your technique. So you kind of got to be focused. Yeah. Matt says strongman events can be fun to watch him fail. Hey, you know, I actually, to be honest with you, I never like seeing people fail because I want you guys to succeed. This sounds corny, I know, but for one thing, failure is contagious. If I see people fail too much, I'm afraid I'll start doing the junk. So I tend to not hang out with people who, as a general rule, underperform. But in terms of just watch, I mean, I watch I watch your in-gym car wreck. Like, oh, I can't believe he just did that junk. But as a general rule, I don't watch failure videos because then that's in my head, you know. Like you guys may not remember this, but I remember when Brandon Lilly blew out his knees squatting. Every time I went up to squat after that, I just thought about how his knees just gave out, like they literally blew out and he fell. And he was like a dude that was so strong you would never think that would happen. Next thing you know, he's in a wheelchair. It's probably one of the most gruesome. And I'm not gonna show it to you. If you want to see it, go on YouTube and just put a Brandon Lilly squat fail, and you'll see it. It was horrible. So yeah, I don't like watching that stuff. All right. One more minute. If I don't see any comments with your whatever topic you guys want to discuss, we'll just move on, and I'll tell you guys what's going on next week on next week's show, and we can get out of here. Okay. Hey man, you know I'm gonna be pulling for you. All you gotta do is share that live stream link with me, and I'm happy to watch it, dude. Because I am we've been pulling for you. We remember when we were watching you on that one competition, we were watching it before we had to go to church, and I was like, let's just wait because he might get it. So I still remember like we delayed a little bit because we wanted to watch you hit your goal. Heck yeah, I'm down. Just DM me the link and I'll be sure to watch it. Heck yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and I don't see any other suggestions or whatever. Let's go ahead and get ready to get out of here. Oh, we do have a comment. So yeah, the record breakers comp. Yeah, that's the one. I mean, I remember man, my wife and I were pulling for you, dude. All right. So let's go ahead and get out of here. So once again, we've arrived at the conclusion of another show that was made awesome by you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please continue to share this link with other people who you think might enjoy this content. We talked about a lot of stuff. So you guys keep on putting your comments and reactions to the things that we brought up. Put them in the chat. Not chat, but put them in the comment section if you're watching on replay. And I will make sure that I address any questions as soon as I can. If it's something I don't know the answer to, I will look it up. If I got to reach out to a brand to ask them the answer, I will do that as well. Next week, we're going to have the Statty Daddy himself, Kurt Stasvold, is going to be on here. He's going to give us the latest strongman throwdown information. Now, I will say I gave Kurt, I asked him for a thumbnail, and this is what he gave me. So that kind of just lets you know what sort of frame of mind that dude is in. But yeah. Anyway, you guys have an outstanding weekend. Thank you so much for all of your support. And have a great weekend. I don't mean outstanding. I'm talking about go hit a PR or something. Like Peter Keller says, go lift something heavy. And Matt, good luck to you in your competition. Oh, it's not live. Okay. But yeah, send me the video after the comp, man. Focus on competing, but then after you're done, send me the video because I do want to check it out. I'll make sure if you send it to me in enough time, we'll talk about it during next week's show as well. Because I love supporting you guys because you support me. So in any case, thanks for being here. Thanks for all your support. Click like, click subscribe, share the video with somebody, then go lift something heavy and have an outstanding weekend. Peace